14th ranked Clemson against the Auburn Tigers, and there is a lot of burnt orange in the building tonight. Dabo Swinney's Clemson Tigers, the defending Atlantic Coast Conference champions. They won 10 games a year ago. They want to get rid of the taste in their mouth from their Orange Bowl loss, however, and they think they're capable of putting back-to-back ACC championships together. Meanwhile, Gene Chizik just 2 years removed from a national championship in his 4th season as Auburn's head coach, and after a rebuilding 8-5 last year, the Tigers feel like, Todd, that they can move up that SEC ladder a little bit more.
Yeah, you know, a lot of unknown for Auburn coming into this game. 2 new coordinators on both sides of the ball, a new quarterback, starting quarterback, who's only attempted 13 passes in Kyle Frazier. So a lot of anxious anticipation for Auburn fans as this game gets ready to kick off.
This is a 49th meeting between these two Tiger teams. Auburn holds the edge. 34 wins, 12 losses. There's been 2 ties. Cody Parkey is going to tee it up as the Clemson Tigers and their high-powered offense will be able to touch it first. Back deep, Martavis Bryant and Jerron Brown. Normally, Sammy Watkins would be one of those guys back there as a kick returner, suspended for the first 2 games of the year. We'll talk more about that as we go.
It'll be interesting to see right away how Auburn approaches kickoffs with it being moved up to the 35-yard line. Cody Parkey last year 66 kickoffs, 38 of them for touchbacks into the end zone.
That was second in the country. So will they try to hit some sky kicks and make them run it back? Or will they just knock it out of there and put it at the 25, the new rule this year? The kick from the 35, we're underway. The Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic, and it is deep, and it's all the way to the back of the end zone where Martavis Bryant will take a knee. So out to the 25 comes the Tiger offense led by this man, Taj Boyd, who set virtually every single season passing record a year ago for the Clemson Tigers. He was sensational, especially in the first 8 games of the season.
Yeah, he really was playing as well as any quarterback in America through the first 8 games. 24 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Things kind of got a little bit unraveled there towards the end. Started to force the issue, then came back and played well in the ACC championship game. He is now a veteran in this Chad Morris offense.
First snap for the offense for Clemson on the year. And it's a pickup of 2, maybe 3 by Andre Ellington. Corey Lemonier in on the stop defensively for Auburn. Last year, Andre Ellington, another sensational season. Scored 11 touchdowns, averaged over 5 yards a carry, and almost 1,200 yards on the ground. So he's just one of the many offensive weapons. Clemson had a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard receiver, and this guy a 1,000-yard rusher. And he gets the second carry, follows his blockers beautifully, and he's out a yard shy of the first down. Ryan White on the stop.
Well, you mentioned the absence of Sammy Watkins. They're probably the most dynamic playmaker on this team, but Ellington, an outstanding back. They still have DeAndre Hopkins, who had 72 catches a year ago, number 6. He's flanked out wide right. They've got playmakers, and of course Taj Boyd is the guy who makes it all happen.
3rd down and 1 in the opening series for Clemson. And on the carry, it's going to be good enough for a first down to Ellington. Made it by about a foot.
That's the first play that we saw from the pistol formation. Chad Morris in an attempt to kind of improve their offense. How could they get better? What could they do better? Went out and visited the Nevada staff. Chris Alt been running the pistol offense. It puts the back right directly behind the quarterback, and it just kind of slows things down and doesn't allow the defense to key.
Here comes the first pass from Taj Boyd. Maybe. Pressured in the pocket, he escapes to pick up a couple of yards. D4, the other defensive end, makes the stop for Auburn.
I think the key for Auburn in this game tonight is, can their defensive line, which has a lot of depth and they'll roll a lot of guys in there, can they control the line of scrimmage? 3 new starters on the offensive line for Clemson. It's up to that Auburn defensive front.
Whoops, and the pistol set, a misfire. And Taj Boyd has to cover it at the 29. The snap looked to be a little wide, or he wasn't ready for it. One of the 2, Todd.
Well, the guy who snapped the ball is not one of those new starters. Dalton Freeman. It looked like a pretty good snap.
Yep.
Maybe Taj Boyd taking a look at the defense. A little bit high, but certainly a catchable snap for Taj Boyd. And now 3rd and long.
Clemson 43% on the year in third down situations, but not normally on third down and 16. Boyes is going to roll. Todd, look out from behind, and down he goes for the second time, and it's D Ford again. So a huge loss again on the play. This time 6 more yards, and Clemson will be punting.
Well, D Ford is in a stand-up position, and he ran right around the left tackle, Brandon Thomas. And even though Taj Boyd was rolling away from Ford, Ford had such a head of steam coming after him. As soon as Taj slowed down, he went down to the ground.
So Spencer Benton into punt inside his own 10-yard line. And Quan Bray back deep for Auburn. Benton, high kick, but not that deep. Going to be good field position if they field it cleanly, and it will be taken by Bray at the 41-yard line. 36-yard kick and no return. But Auburn's got good field position for Kyle Frazier and company as he gets some final instructions before he comes out in this his sophomore season. Out of Springdale, Arkansas, where he put up huge numbers in his high school career, but as Todd said, 12 passes thrown last year, 5 of them complete. And we saw at least one of those interceptions, I remember, going to the wrong team.
Well, he can throw it. I mean, even in watching him in pregame, he's got a nice arm, and the ball comes out of his hands quickly.
High backfield with Prosch, the big fullback, in front of Ontara McCaleb. And McCaleb gets the call and broke one tackle and almost slipped out the back end. Picked up 5.
Here's an interesting fact. We watched that first play that Auburn ran, and Kyle Frazier took the snap from center and handed off. All through his high school career, he never took a snap from center. He was in a shotgun all the time. And Scott Loeffler, the new quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, had to reteach that. What used to be a basic skill for a quarterback all spring. And Kyle Frazier has become very comfortable under the center now.
Second down along 5 as Frazier drops back into the gun now. Frazier on the keeper. Thanks, Jonesy, and welcome to the Georgia Dome for the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. The Clemson Tigers and the Auburn Tigers. Clemson ranked number 14, and on their first possession, they were forced to punt. Auburn now with sophomore Kyle Frazier at the controls has the football just inside their own 44-yard line on their opening possession, and they've got a third down and 7. Trey Mason checks into the backfield. 3 wide receivers this time for Frazier, and Lutzenkirk in the tight end gets in a slot right. First third down of the game for Auburn. Frazier wanted to throw a screen pass, and it's incomplete, intended for Mason. So both teams a little shaky with their offensive sets on the first possession.
Well, we mentioned some of the new coaches. 2 new coordinators for Auburn on both sides of the ball. A new defensive coordinator for Clemson, Brent Venables, came over from Oklahoma after a long time assistant under Bob Stoops. And we're going to see some things that are different for both these teams.
So Auburn set to kick away, and let's see if they change field position here, at least with that opening possession of the ball game. Great kicker and punter for Auburn last year, and a beautiful punt here. Fair catch taken at the 10-yard line. So Clemson will have its second offensive series at that point. And we officially welcome you to the Georgia Dome. Brad Nessler with Todd Blackledge. Holly will join us in just a minute. Partner, as we start this season, a lot of unknowns for these two teams. Auburn 8-5 last year after a national championship a couple of years ago. Clemson, though, won the ACC title. They think they can do it again. Yeah,
they think they can. They've got to play better defense. Brent Venables is in as the new coordinator. And really, this team will go as their quarterback, Taj Boyd, goes. Threw for over 3,800 yards last year, 33 touchdowns. He's now a veteran in this offense, and he has to become a better runner, a more effective runner, to make this offense really go.
He's been sacked a couple times already, but he gets it to Nuke Hopkins, and Hopkins out for a gain of 9. As we take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players, and right on cue, DeAndre Nuke Hopkins with that last reception. He had almost 1,000 yards on 72 catches last year. Andre Ellington, the main ball carrier, almost 1,200 yards on the ground. And defensively, Malachi Goodman, one of the top defensive ends in the ACC. And here's Ellington again, and he's got a first down. Pick up a 4. Clemson last year averaged 441 yards a game in total offense, and they put up a ton of points, averaging almost 34 a game. And Chad Morris was last year in his first season as the coordinator.
Hard to imagine. He spent 1 year at Tulsa and right out of high school before that.
Flags are down as Taj Boyd rips one down the sideline to Martavis Bryant, who makes a diving catch. But let's wait and see on the penalty marker. It would have been a pickup of 28. Jeff Flanagan is our referee from the ACC.
Illegal motion. Offense number 6. Never got set. 5 yards previous spot.
DeAndre Hopkins with the motion.
Hopkins was on the opposite side and had never really got set into the formation. They tried to get up and line up quickly and snap the ball quickly, but a little mix-up with the receivers, and Hopkins not able to get set.
If we see a huddle for Clemson, it'll probably be during a timeout. They like to go and go fast and run as many plays as possible. 3 wideouts here, and that pistol set again for Taj Boyd. And Andre Ellington swallowed up by Corey Lemonnier. No gain. This guy, one of the best defensive linemen in the SEC.
We talked about the depth of the linemen. Very quick. Corey Lemonnier has always been a good pass rusher in his career. Has tried to get a little stronger and bigger and tougher against the run. That time he used his quickness on an inside move to get into the backfield.
Of course, this time it's because of penalty, but Clemson can't get itself out of 2nd and 3rd and long. 2nd and 15. Boyd zips it down the middle, and Ford dropped it. Last year it was Dwayne Allen, the tight end, who was the Mackey Award winner, who had such a sensational campaign at tight end, and now this guy's got to carry the load, and he's got to do better than that one.
Well, you mentioned penalty this drive. The drive before, they dropped the snap, which brought up the 3rd down and long, and hard to convert in a game like this.
Whoa! Everybody coming after Taj Boyd, and flags down, and they'll whistle this one dead. A running start by D. Ford and Gabe Wright, among many.
Prior to snap, offside. Defense number 55, unabated to the quarterback. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Gene Chizik, his 4th year, 30 wins and 10 losses at Auburn. And of course, 2 years ago with Cam Newton and company, the national champion. So 3rd down, a little more manageable. Here comes the pressure again. Boyd fires, and he's got his man, and it's Hopkins. 1st down, Clemson. And the cheers are not boos. That's Nuke.
Well, this is a big-time throw. You know, the last 3rd down play, D. Ford was able to get in there. They block Lemonnier. They get a little help from Ellington. That's a chip block, and that was all the time Taj Boyd needed.
Back to the ground they go. And a pickup of 4. DJ Howard coming in there after Andre Ellington got that nice chip block Todd was talking about. He gets relieved, and DJ Howard, the sophomore out of Lincoln, Alabama, into the lineup. He'll stay in there, and the pistol set. And again, Auburn looking at that Clemson offense. It just keeps coming at you without a huddle. Boyd fires complete, and Hopkins slips, but he goes down with a 1st down at the 40-yard line.
The new defensive coordinator for Auburn is Brian Van Gorder, who has been very successful throughout his career. He was with the Atlanta Falcons for the last 4 years. He was at Georgia as a coordinator under Mark Richt 2001 to 2004, and he said before the game, this may be the most difficult offense I've seen in a college game since I've come back.
They do a lot of different things. This time they run it off the left side successfully, and it's Howard for a 1st down. Tough run. Pickup of 11. So Clemson's got something working here offensively on their 2nd series.
Well, watch the tackle, number 70, Gifford Timothy, lead that play out. He missed 2 weeks of training camp with a knee. They weren't sure he'd be able to start tonight. Showed good mobility on that play.
Taj Boyd, play action, fires complete. It's Hopkins inside the 15, the 10, and slips. But he'll have it 1st and goal. Would have been a touchdown if he could have kept his footing.
Well, right now you're seeing the veteran experience of Taj Boyd. They get the conversion on 3rd and 10 to keep the drive alive, and now they've got that Auburn defense really off balance with the run-pass mix.
Ellington back behind Taj Boyd. He'll get the carry and goes inside the 5 down to the 3. Auburn's defense on its heels a little bit right here.
We mentioned the pistol attack, and putting the tailback directly behind the quarterback does not allow the defense to get a key or a read on which way the play might be going. See Ellington lined up right behind Taj Boyd instead of off to the side.
On 2nd and goal, he gets it again. And they're going to mark it right at the 3. Jermaine Whitehead came in and made great contact. Kept Ellington from getting near the goal line. So this is an interesting one here. 3rd down. Again, Taj Boyd is a quarterback that's got good wheels. A run pass option for a guy like this makes him that much more dangerous. And he will throw. Maybe. He's going to run. Boyd to the 1. That's all, though. Whitehead and Davis make the stop.
See, this is the part of the field where last year Taj Boyd was oftentimes looking for his big tight end Dwayne Allen, who is now with the Indianapolis Colts, had 50 catches a year ago. He was a big target in the red zone, and he wasn't able to find anybody open on that 3rd down play.
Dabo Swinney's going kickoff classic in Atlanta. 4th and goal. We're only 9 minutes into the game. Let's see what we can do. 4th and goal at the 1. I backfield now with a fullback and 2 tight ends. The flags fly.
Ball start. Number 62 offense.
Now I think they'll kick it.
Tyler Shatley is making his first start ever on offense on the offensive line, and he jumped number 62 just to the right of Taj Boyd. There's the little bit of a rock.
Yeah, and Taj Boyd was going with a longer count. I think he was trying to draw the penalty, draw the contact, and it ended up fooling his own guy.
Catanzaro was 22 out of 27 a year ago. This will be a 24-yard field goal attempt to try to open the scoring here at the Georgia Dome tonight. And a kick is good. So Clemson a little disappointed. They got as far as the 1-yard line. Another penalty prevented what might have been a touchdown, but they do lead 3-0.
This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
And it's ESPN's College Football Prime Time, presented by Hampton Hotels. Our matchup, if you're just joining us, a battle of Tigers, Auburn and Clemson. And if you're not wearing navy or Northwest purple, you're wearing burnt orange tonight in this building. Trust me. Clemson leads 3-0. 83-yard drive in 13 plays. Took them a little over 5 minutes. They had to settle for a 24-yard field goal after having 1st and goal at the 10. Got as close as the 1. And then a false start forced the field goal. Benton to kick off. Again, the kick deep, 5 yards in, and Quan Bray will take a knee. As they bring it out to the 25-yard line, Kyle Frazier getting ready to lead the offense out for Auburn.
2012 Chick-fil-A Kickoff Game, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Dick's Sporting Goods, every season starts at Dick's. And Dr. Pepper, tell the world what makes you one of a kind with the I'm a hashtag on Twitter.
Auburn Tigers at the 25-yard line, trailing by 3. Kyle Frazier, the sophomore quarterback, at the controls, with Trey Mason behind him. Play action for Frazier to throw. Lobs it. Lutzenkirchen out for about 8 yards. So that'll give him a little bit of confidence, and he needs all of it he can get as we look at his bioblast, Todd.
Well, Kyle Frazier was a highly decorated high school player. Led his team to 3 state championships in a row at Shiloh High School. Threw for over 10,000 yards in his career. But last year, in his role on this offense, it was primarily to come in and run the zone read. Little trickeration now. We got linemen flanked out.
3 out in front of McCaleb, who's got the sideline and a 1st down. Knocked out in front of the Clemson bench. As we take a look with that 1st down, as our impact player is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Well, Emory Blake's a difference maker. When he was hurt a couple of games last year, they weren't the same offense as far as the passing game. We just saw Lutzenkirchen where number 43 is. Usually you're going to see where the ball is, or in the case of that pass completion to get him close to a 1st down. At Corey Lemonier, we've already seen a bunch of him defensively for the Tigers tonight, an all-SEC defensive end. 1st down at the 44. And hitting the backfield, but keeping his balance and picking up 2 or 3 yards is Trey Mason. Robert Smith came up from the secondary to make the stop. Trey Mason's not even a starter, but he said his goal this year is 1,500 yards rushing. I mean, you got to set your sights high, I guess.
Yeah.
He's getting some playing time here in the first quarter behind an all-SEC caliber player in McCaleb.
Well, McCaleb, when you look at him, you wouldn't think he would be a guy that would run too successfully between the tackles, but Scott Leffler said this summer camp, very impressive doing that.
Play action. Frazier sets up, and he's going to air it long, and he's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Emory Blake. Did we say Emory Blake was an impact player? He got all alone in the secondary, or lack of, for Clemson. 54 yards, touchdown.
Well, there was no safety help at all for Clemson, and poor Darius Robinson was on an island with a very talented receiver in Emory Blake.
Cody Parkey in for the point after. And just like that, the other Tigers from the Plains in 4 plays, 75 yards in just 1 minute and 44 seconds. The long ball, Emory Blake, Kyle Frazier's first scoring toss of the year.
The 2012 Chick-fil-A kickoff game is presented by Hampton Hotels. Feel the Hamptonality. And in part by Buick. Experience your kind of convenience, peace of mind, entertainment, and luxury.
Auburn 7-3 on a 54-yard touchdown pass to Emory Blake. Todd, have another look.
Well, the play action, this was a maximum protection, and it froze 4 defenders of Clemson over here and isolated these 2 in man coverage. And poor Darius Robinson, number 21, is going to get turned completely around by Emory Blake. No safety help in the middle. Everybody was up close to the line of scrimmage, and a nice job by Kyle Frazier reading the coverage and throwing it out there for Blake to run up and get it.
And in 3 minutes and 17 seconds of possession time, Mr. Blackledge, Kyle Frazier has more yardage and more touchdowns than all of last year. In fact, that was his first touchdown pass of his career. And with that, we check in and get an update on LSU. Here's Reese.
Brad, Taco Bell studio update. The Hats team opening the season against North Texas. Now, you know, Tyrann Mathieu is gone from the team, so that means Odell Beckham Jr. is returning punts. And pretty much the same result. Okay, I know it's the not-so-mean green, but Beckham's got some wheels, some speed, and he's got a touchdown. Kenny Hilliard scored 2. Hilliard actually scored first. Bayou Bengals up 14-0.
All right, Reese, keep us posted. We'll see LSU next week against Washington. So now Clemson at its own 25-yard line, trailing for the first time tonight. Taj Boyd's going to flip it out, and it's his tight end, and this time he holds on, and Brandon Ford might have a first down as we check in with the third member of our team, Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, almost everybody's heard Sammy Watkins, the dynamic wide receiver for Clemson, is suspended the first 2 games, but it could have been more. Dabo Swinney said it's going to be 4 to 2 games depending on how you respond. Sammy's done everything that they asked, but he's home watching this game tonight.
I know it's eating him up that he's not out here, and we miss seeing you out here too, Sammy, because when we saw you last year, when last we saw you, you were doing things like 82 receptions for 1,200 plus yards. First team All-American and the ACC Player of the Year in his freshman season.
Well, and the thing that he did so well is 60% of his yardage and receiving came after the catch.
There's a little dipsy dude, Andre Ellington, as Taj Boyd was pretending to look to the sideline to the coaches, and the direct snap goes to number 23. Now, we hadn't seen that one before.
No, that was a little different. I was fooled. Taj looked like he was coming to get a change of play.
Look at that.
I like that. 3rd and short.
Darrell Smith, the fullback, is in there. Taj Boyd in the gun. Auburn loading up on the front line, and Taj is going to try to do it himself, and he's got it. Out to the 47-yard line and a first down. This time last year we asked Chad Morris, how much of your offense do you have in? He said maybe 65%. We asked him on Wednesday over at Clemson at practice. He said maybe 70%. I'm wondering where the other 30 is coming from, don't you?
Well, a big part of that is the quarterback run game that they have not gotten as far into as he would like. It was a nice play by Taj that time.
Boyd flushed this time, and he's not going to get out. Whoa, he lost his hat. Now, again, new rule this year about losing your helmet. You lose a play.
Now, Cole Stout will have to come in. The backup quarterback will have to come in for this play.
We saw this a couple of times last night in the Tennessee-NC State game. Now, there's Lemonier, who's got him in the headlock, and then the headgear comes off. So Cole Stout, the sophomore, Cliff Stout's son's going to have to come in for a play. Look at the equipment guys. They are moving those snaps a little bit tighter. They don't want their first team all ACC quarterback standing on the sideline. Second down and 12. Stout, and they're going to blitz him right away, but they're going to try to run Ellington right by the blitz, and he does, and he's still on his feet. Wow. Put his hand on the turf and somehow spun his way for 15 yards. Good looking run, Todd.
Great balance. You know, Dabo Swinney, when we were over there for practice on Wednesday, he just couldn't talk enough about Ellington, his approach to this season, his commitment in the offseason. You know, he's had a little injury problem late in the last 2 years. Really looks good tonight. 41
yards already. And now Taj Boyd back in after a one-play absence, and he misfires intended for Jerron Brown. Ryan Smith was the closest defender. Smith, one of those guys that Brian Van Gorder says he can really lean on because he gets it. He gets his defense, and he's one of the guys that helps call it on the back end. 8th play of the Clemson drive here as we're down to 1:14 in the first quarter. Auburn leading on a 54-yard touchdown pass. Clemson got as close as the 1-yard line and had to settle for a field goal. Boyd again pressured in the pocket. Taj takes off looking for the first down marker, and he got it again. And the ball is out. And Auburn's got it. And I think Taj lost his helmet again. He did. And the ball, more importantly, was lost as well. Gabe Wright came up with a fumble recovery. I think it was Nosa Igwe who made the hit.
First down.
Well, it was really an excellent play by Taj Boyd until the very end. Good decision. You see Igwe get the ball loose as Boyd is going to the ground. Now, was it all the way out before he hit the ground, or did the ground cause the ball to pop out? It was definitely being bobbled as he was going to the ground.
You can see it's oddly in his elbow. And obviously out there.
It's under further review.
We're taking a look at this one, and Rocky D. Good is our replay official.
Now remember, the play was ruled a fumble on the field. So all these angles they look at, it would have to be compelling evidence to change that call to not be a fumble, to be down by contact.
They've got plenty of time to look at it. We got a quick timeout here with 1:02 first quarter. Jeff Flanagan, our referee, still talking to the guys upstairs as we take another look under official review. And Todd, it looks like at the very last moment this comes out before his knee touches.
Yeah, Igwe got his hand on it, and so he was losing control. You could see the ball shift, and right before his knee touched the ground, it does look like the ball came out of his possession.
And again, it was ruled a fumble on the play, so I think it's going to be kind of hard. Looked like it was right in the midair in between his hands there.
You know, it's a little bit of a catch-22. You're Chad Morris and you're saying, hey, I want my quarterback to run the ball more. But all through August, your starting quarterback does not get hit very often, if at all, during two-a-days and during live action. And so now when you get into a real game, ball security for a quarterback who maybe is not used to running so much becomes a little bit of an issue.
After further review, the runner was down.
Wow. Well,
that's a huge break for Clemson.
Sure is. Now the other issue becomes how they're going to keep Taj Boyd's hat on, because he lost his helmet on this play too. Well, we've got our opinion, and the one that counts is the guys next to us. So a big break, as Todd said. Otherwise, it would have been Auburn football at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and Cole Stout has to come in for another play because the helmet came off on that fumbled ball.
We're going to start having rotating quarterbacks for Clemson if Todd can't get that thing strapped up a little tighter. So it's 1st and 10 for Clemson at the 28-yard line. Andre Ellington behind Cole Stout. Again, they're trying to get the sticks in the exact proper location, I think, right now. The fumble recovery is at the 31, but where Taj Boyd landed was, I think, right about where they have it.
We're going to determine that the chains are in the correct position.
And so one more look. Jeff Flanagan come over one more time and see where Taj Boyd's knee landed. And so our guys will give them that look as well. We weren't thinking about that because we thought it was a fumble. So let's see where the knee ends up. As Taj starts to go down there, plants his left foot, and it's going to be right about 28-yard line.
The runner was down beyond the line to gain. It's a first down at the 28-yard line.
I didn't know they were worried about the first down. He had that by about 2 feet, maybe almost a whole yard. So they've got it right in the right spot. Whether they've got the right call or not, that's up to debate, but it's at the 28-yard line.
Well, and I think the key thing for Clemson right now, when you get the benefit of that call, do you capitalize? You've got field position, you've got a little momentum. Even though your backup quarterback's in, stay aggressive and see if you can capitalize.
Ellington spins his way for a couple, and Taj Boyd will take the field. Holly?
Clemson equipment manager Abe Reed told me before the game that they're very conscientious about this. There are practice helmets that the guys use that tend to come off a little more, but the game helmets they gave a full dress rehearsal to last Friday. They had 3 come off, so they've even tightened the straps more. As a flag's thrown on that play, guys. But remember, Taj Boyd has been getting some real knocks on the head. It's not something they can do with the straps.
Still second down.
Illegal substitution. Penalty against Clemson. And Dabo Swinney and Chad Morris are both saying, okay, let's calm down a little bit and try to get our act together and not waste the opportunity we have at hand.
Well, of concern for Auburn right now, Corey Lemonier hobbled off the field after that last play and is over on the sideline getting looked at right now. Seems to be maybe his right leg.
Boyd, play action. Steps up in the pocket and throws on the run. It's tipped and almost picked off by Jake Holland, the middle linebacker.
Boy, he had a guy wide open, too. He saw him. He made a nice decision to move out of the pocket, and then he just short-armed the throw. I mean, he had a receiver behind the defense on the scramble, and it probably would have been a touchdown, but Taj Boyd just didn't put enough on the football.
You got to wonder just how rattled he's been with a helmet coming off a couple of times. That can work on your psyche a little bit when you're throwing the football. Now he's got a 3rd down and 13, and here comes a blitz, and down goes Boyd. And I mean, went down in a hurry as Darren Bates just flattened him. That's the end of the first quarter. Auburn on a long touchdown pass, leading the Clemson Tigers at the end of one, 7-3. Bang! Touchdown! Welcome back to the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Presented by Hampton Hotels, part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week. And Clemson trailing Auburn as we get set to start the second quarter, 7-3. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, our ESPN crew at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, where it's been a busy sports week. As you take a look, 11:43 for Clemson. Doesn't matter how long they've had it. Auburn has the lead because of a 54-yard touchdown pass.
Well, I think the good thing that Auburn did in their last offensive possession, Scott Loeffler called a couple first down, early down play action passes for Kyle Frazier. That's the best way to get a young quarterback comfortable. Call passes on rundown, let him get his feet wet a little bit, and he got the big touchdown on an early down.
The 3rd sack of Taj Boyd took Clemson out of any kind of field goal range, so they'll punt here from midfield. High kick, and they're going to have a great job of stopping this at the 1. Did they? The 1-foot line?
Well, they almost blew that. I mean, they were in perfect position. And remember, it's not where the player is. Rashad Breeland was there. It's just where the ball goes. You can have your feet in the end zone as long as the ball doesn't cross the plane. that he got very, very close.
The ball did not break the plane of the goal line. First down.
And he just got rid of it like a hot potato right there at the last second.
That's as close as you could possibly get.
And so it's inside the 1. Those are the kind you love as a punter. And great coverage by his teammates. This will put Auburn in their own end zone taking this snap. Kyle Frazier will have his feet in the end zone. Under center. First down, Tigers from their own 1-yard line. Quick snap. And busting out of there is Trey Mason. And boy, he was about an arm tackle of Jonathan Meeks from really maybe taking it 99 yards.
Well, they just lined up in the power I, and they ran behind their fullback, Jay Proj, number 35. Watch him lead up in there, gets a little chip block on the linebacker.
And if he doesn't get him, nobody does. Got it out to the 10-yard line. Now they can go to work with their offense. In the eye with Proj, the fullback, leading the way. And there goes Mason again. This time he might be gone. Gonna get run down at the 40. Jonathan Meeks again. Trey Mason, who, as I mentioned, has big goals this year. He's starting to fill them early with a 30-yard run.
Well, watch this fullback. Boom, right at the point of attack. Excellent block on Jonathan Willard, the linebacker. And this is what Auburn has not done under Gus Malzahn when he was a coordinator. They didn't have a fullback in their offense. This is power football. This is the part of the offense that Scott Leffler brought from his days at Michigan under Lloyd Carr.
I think Mason, had he cut back to the inside, Todd, he might have taken it to the house. Here's McCaleb now, an inside sweep. Now Terry McCaleb out to the 46-yard line. Denson got a block out there for him in front. And Auburn has already moved from their own 1-yard line out to the 46 with 13 and a half to play in the second quarter. There's Scott Leffler right in the middle of your screen. Spent so many years at Michigan. And of course, he worked with the likes of Brian Griese and Tom Brady, and considered an excellent quarterback coach, Todd.
Yep. Last year he was at Temple, and Temple was 7th in the nation in running the football.
And the ball is out this time. Who's going to get it? Clemson might have this one. And they do. Jonathan Willard, I think, on the bottom of the pile. Josh Watson might have been the guy that made the hit on Mason.
Well, Trey Mason has had a beautiful series, but just doesn't take care of the football. And again, I go back to the fact that you kind of cut back on your live action and live tackling as you get closer to the season. We saw Taj Boyd get the ball stripped, and now Trey Mason, a running back, get it stripped for Auburn, and a big break for the Tigers of Clemson.
Willard with a big play. And now Clemson's in great field position at the 48-yard line. Taj Boyd going to throw it out in the flats to Sharon Peak with a head of steam. And he got about 5 out of that play.
Good decision by Taj Boyd. They were looking for a play-action deep throw on first down after the turnover. It wasn't there, and he did what you want a quarterback, a mature quarterback, to do. Just take that underneath throw and play second down and 5.
So the Tigers in Auburn territory with a quick throw, and it's a first down throw. Brandon Ford, the tight end. After dropping the first one, he's held on to the last 2. Pick up a 6 and they'll move the sticks.
Brandon Ford has very good ball skills. He came to Clemson as a wide receiver at 205 pounds. He's worked with his body. He's up to about 245 now. Not the same kind of blocker that Dwayne Allen was last year, but a good receiver.
There he was in motion. And now Taj Boyd on the run again. Doesn't lose his helmet, doesn't lose the football. Picks up a couple. And good news for Auburn fans, Corey Lemonier is back in there after being shaken up on the last series. Lemonier had 13 and a half sacks last year. Can block kicks, force fumbles, one of those impact guys on the defensive front. Auburn's going to need him all year long. Boyd, play action. Going to throw it out in the flat to his safety valve, who got popped immediately. Sharon Peak, Darren Bates. Bates is always around the football. He had over 100 tackles last year. He's just one of those guys, maybe not the biggest, not the fastest, but he knows where the ball's going.
Well, he was a safety early on in his career and then has moved to a linebacker position. But, you know, he's still kind of got the size of a defensive back. So he plays very well out in space.
3rd down and 8 for Clemson. Boyd throws again to his tight end, and he's got another 1st down. Well, all of a sudden, Brandon Ford looking a little more like Dwayne Allen.
The thing that he did really well there was he ran his route, he sat down, and he gave his quarterback a great target. Watch, he doesn't drift, he doesn't move, he shows both of his numbers, and then he turns right upfield, protects the ball, and fights for the 1st down.
Caught 14 passes last year when Dwayne Allen was winning the Mackey Award. He's having an excellent 1st half after dropping the 1st one tonight. He hasn't dropped any since. Just outside the Auburn 30, and flags down.
False start. Number 63 offense.
That's
5
the
yards.
3rd.
Still 1st down.
That's the 3rd penalty, 4th penalty, I should say, on the Clemson offense. Brandon Thomas this time. Well, just 2 races left until the chase. Greg Biffle, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr. locked in. Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, they're all battling for a wild card spot. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is right up the road at AMS, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, 6:30 on ESPN. Clemson making it hard on themselves again with another penalty. 1st and 15. Boyd sidesteps the rush and sidearms the throw, and maybe should have been caught. Martavis Bryant. He did have Chris Davis kind of in his grill there.
Yeah, I think Chris Davis just kind of instinctively lifted his hands up and may have gotten a piece of the football, but that ball was catchable. Martavis Bryant went up. No, he didn't even get any piece of it. Bryant just lost his concentration and dropped the football.
That's part of the problem they said he had last year as a freshman. Losing concentration. Probably should have had that one. On the sweep, Ellington. Whoa, what a move that was. Got to the corner. Ryan White stayed with it just to get him out of bounds.
Well, what a move by Ellington, and what a block by Sharon Peak on the outside. This was a slow developing play because he bounced it outside, and Peak did a great job of staying on his block without holding. Watch at the end of this play, number 19 at the top of your screen. Stay on his block enough to allow Ellington to turn the corner.
Now the 3rd down is only 3 yards. Boyd wants to throw for it. Oh! And dropped. Just blatantly dropped by his favorite target so far tonight, Brandon Ford. So that's 3 really good catches and 2 he should have had. And that'll bring out the field goal unit. So again, Clemson has a good-looking drive. Their 1st one stalled at the 1-yard line on a false start penalty that backed him up to the 6, and that's when Catanzaro hit the 24-yarder. Now they'll ask him to hit one from 40 to try to make it a 1-point game. The junior out of Greenville, South Carolina, just up the road from Clemson, right down Peachtree Street here in Atlanta. At the 10-minute mark, 40-yard field goal is good. Clemson draws within 1. Auburn 7, Clemson 6. From the side of the SEC championship game every year, Georgia Dome in Atlanta. And in our Chick-fil-A kickoff matchup, Auburn leading Clemson 7-6. Now for tonight's Atlas Trivia question. Who's a one person to be head coach of both Auburn and Clemson? It's not easy to do. Think it over. We'll have the answer for you in just a bit. With Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, I'm Brad Nessler. Low-scoring game, hard-hitting game in a battle of Tigers. Both wearing their home uniforms, by the way, tonight. Auburn in their home navy and Clemson in their home orange. And both teams almost exactly 2-hour drive from their respective campuses here in Atlanta. There's a lot of people around town not knowing where to park this weekend, let me tell you that. With that and a touchback, they'll bring it out to 25, and we'll go out to Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brad, time to deliver a Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. And #1 team and leaders in the Pac-12, one would think this is the first play from scrimmage of the season for USC. Matt Barkley, Marquise Lee, 75 yards. You're going to see that connection quite a bit this season. SC on top of Hawaii, 7-0.
Matt Barkley, after a sensational campaign last year, a lot of people's preseason choices to be an All-American this year. This guy's had a very nice first half. The sophomore Kyle Frazier. He's going to give it off to McCaleb. Got the corner. And he's got a first down. Knocked out of bounds by Darius Robinson, but he picked up 13.
Well, way more I formation running out of Auburn than we've seen, and that's because they've got a fullback in Jay Prosch, the transfer from Illinois, a football player, 260 pounds, loves to stick his nose in there. And when we talked to Scott Leffler the other day, you know, he wasn't a real excitable guy until we asked him about this guy.
Right.
He said,
I don't like him.
Yeah, I love him.
I love him.
I love the guy.
He said he's a man's man playing football. He's been the lead man right now. He's on the sideline. There's Frazier on play action. Nobody around him. Now some heat comes, but he's got a blocker in front, and he slips and goes down and is basically at the line of scrimmage. Holly's got more on the big fullback we were just talking about. Holly.
Well, Jay Prosch was playing at Illinois last year, but received an NCAA waiver to transfer and play immediately at Auburn to be closer to home, Mobile, Alabama, where his mother Iris is going through a battle with cancer. He's been going home on the weekends trying to be there and support her. I know she's watching tonight, so Iris, we wish you all the best, but Jay is making you proud here in the Georgia Dome.
Absolutely. Iris, you got a man's man. As the coaches said, he's a solid rock. And he's right now in front of Ontario McCaleb. Brandon Fulls, the tight end, is in motion. And again, plenty of time for Frazier, and he overshot a guy that was open at Emory Blake.
Well, same kind of coverage, because it was man coverage with no safety help. And Darius Robinson was on Blake, but that time the ball was overthrown, or it would have been another big chunk play or an explosive play for the Auburn offense.
Emory Blake has the most explosive play of the night, a 54-yard touchdown reception from Kyle Frazier. Now an all-important third down, as we're down to 9 minutes in the half in a one-point game, and it's third down and 10.
This is only the second third down play for Auburn in the ball game.
Travate Stallworth running into the slot on the right side, and now flags all over the place.
False start. Offensive line. 5 yards. Still third down.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 15. Greg Robinson, the left tackle, was the guy that actually flinched, but as Jeff Flanagan said, pretty much everybody was jumping on that front wall for Gene Chisholm. This is where you don't want to put your sophomore quarterback in a 3rd and 15 and have him accidentally force something, Todd.
And this is where I would expect Brent Venables to maybe show pressure, but maybe only rush 3 and drop 8 and force him, the young quarterback, to read coverage.
The snap has to be picked up, and now he's going to load it down for Blake on the sideline, and it's going to be intercepted by Clemson. Picked off by Rashad Hall.
You know what, though? Not a bad interception.
It's like a punt.
It's just like a punt for Kyle Frazier. I mean, Clemson takes over on the 10-yard line. You take a shot. Maybe a guy makes a play for you. Not a bad interception if you've got to throw one.
So Kyle Frazier has a touchdown pass. Now he's got an interception, but he threw it a long way. Just as good as a special teams play, as Todd said. It'll be Clemson ball offensively at their own 15, trailing by 1 when we go back.
The 2012 Chick-fil-A kickoff game, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
7-6 ball game right now. Let's get our trivia question for you. Who's the one person to be head coach of both Auburn and Clemson? John Heisman, for which the Heisman Trophy is named, coach for each school. In the first 2 games of the series, he was 1-0 for each school. He won 1 for each team, both in shutouts. He won for, in 1899, 34-0 when he was coaching for Auburn, and then as Clemson's head coach in 1902, they won 16-0. There's the coach. It's not easy to win 1 for each side. He coached at Georgia Tech too, right here in Atlanta. So he made the rounds between Auburn, Clemson, and you know it's a buggy ride. I mean, you know, it's only 2 hours here, 2 hours there. A little bit of an opening for Andre Ellington, and again he keeps his footing by putting his hand on the ground, and now it's his wheels on the ground. Got blockers in front. Ellington at the 30, down the sideline, all the way to the 15-yard line. What a run! Penalty marker down at the end.
Well, one time may be a fluke if a guy does it. If a guy does it twice in a game, You better get him on the ground.
Out of bounds. Personal foul for a late hit, number 6. The penalty will be added to the end of the run, half the distance. First down.
Jonathan Mincy, but watch this play, and Andre Ellington, who got some nice blocking, and right here, Todd, take over.
Yeah, well, Jake Holland thought he had him down, but he had him wrapped up, but he didn't take him all the way to the ground. And for the second time tonight, we've seen tremendous balance by Andre Ellington and not giving up on the play. Gets his hand on the ground, maintains his balance, and turns it into a big play.
And the personal 5, the late hit, half the distance to the goal. First and goal, Clemson. They keep it on the ground with Roderick McDowell. Touchdown. The third tailback in the lineup tonight. After the starter did the big work, Roderick McDowell did the short work. 7 yards for the touchdown. Extra point is good. 7:26 remaining in the first half. This has been the site of some big plays in the last 2 nights. Tennessee and NC State last night. And first, 68 yards. How he kept his balance, I have no idea. Roderick McDowell does the rest. Touchdown, Clemson.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
85 yards in just 3 plays. The touchdown was Roderick McDowell.
Well, you're going to see good execution by Clemson. They're going to get 2 good blocks on the offensive line here by Beasley and Thomas. And then you're going to see this guy right here, Ryan Smith, be unblocked, but not able to bring Ellington to the ground. You've got to beat one unblocked guy, and that's exactly what happens. Roderick McDowell just beats his man to the end zone, and Clemson pays it off with a touchdown.
Ellington's the guy that got him there. He's got 123 yards on 12 carries, 10 yards a pop. Clemson has the lead, and the kick is deep and will not be returned, but we will return to Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, LSU and North Texas. Zach Mettenberger making his first start. North Texas, Hildrick Jackson just wrecks him. Mettenberger has not returned to the game. LSU thinks he's okay, but they took him to the locker room to check on his shoulder. Bayou Bengals up 21-0 in the second quarter.
So the 25-yard line again, as Auburn's offense will take the field. There's Dabo Swinney talking to his star tailback. You know, 2 years ago, Todd, he had 140 yards on 22 carries and a touchdown against Auburn. Last year, 46 yards and a touchdown on 14 carries. Tonight, as I mentioned, 12 for 123, and we're not even at halftime. Here's Ontario McCaleb, the other number 23. Knocked out of bounds and no flag as he picks up 7.
Well, again, this is kind of sledgehammer football for Auburn, and a real change of pace from what they were doing last year. But again, they've got a 260-pound fullback in Jay Proj that likes blocking and is doing a nice job of sealing things for either Trey Mason or Ontario McCaleb.
In this case, it might be Mike Blakely who's in there now. Sort of a full house power eye set. On 2nd down and 3. Those 2 guys lead the way. He's close to a first down. Blakely, a redshirt freshman out of Bradenton, Florida. Going to be a little bit short.
I still think the best opportunity for Kyle Frazier, if they pick up the first down on this 3rd and short here, is to throw on first down off of play action. You've run the ball for enough success to set up play action and keep that Clemson defense honest, and see if Emory Blake or Philip Lutzenkirchen can make a big play for you off a play-action pass.
Wow, now everybody shifts. Frazier comes up under center. Everybody swaps sides. You end up with an eye backfield on a 3rd down and a yard. And McCaleb's got it and plenty more. Picks up 5. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues tomorrow night on baseball's biggest stage. Battle between American League Central, White Sox, and the Tigers. 8 Eastern on ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Also live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Now let's see if they might put the ball in the air. Now they picked up the first down at the 38-yard line. We've got 6 minutes remaining in the half. Auburn 5 first downs, but one of those 54-yard touchdown. Here's Frazier. He did want to throw. He's not going to get a chance to throw. Jonathan Willard, who's been around the ball. He's got a fumble recovery, now a sack.
You know who made the play that time for Clemson was defensive end Corey Crawford, number 93. They were going to try to throw the ball back to Ontario McCaleb, anticipating that the defensive end wouldn't peel off in coverage, but Crawford was disciplined and stayed with the play and took that play away, forcing the sack. Pretty good discipline by a backup defensive end.
Really, the wideouts, with the exception of Emory Blake, have not been a big factor. Trelawney Stallworth and the rest. Here's the fly sweep by Ontario McCaleb. Kind of high steps it to the sideline, and he might have gotten a first down. He's awfully close. Could be left foot, right foot over there with the official. Oh, I beg your pardon. He's back to the line of scrimmage. That was long yardage. And he's back where they started at the 38-yard line. Where it's 3rd and 10. 5 minutes remaining in the half. Clemson has 10 points off 2 Auburn turnovers, and they lead 13-7. Where's Lutzenkirchen? Well, we're not going to get to see him right now. It's going to go right back to 3rd down and 15.
Greg Robinson, the left tackle, moved early.
It's the second time he's done that.
Think about this now. You've got a left tackle, Greg Robinson, who's a redshirt freshman.
Offside. Defense number 3.
Take it back.
5 yards. Still 3rd down.
So they're saying that Robinson moved in response to the movement of Vic Beasley. But Avery Young, the right tackle, is a freshman right out of high school. These 2 starting tackles, both highly recruited guys for Auburn. This is their first college game, first college action tonight. So far, handling things pretty well.
And of course, the number 2 center doing the job in place of Dismukes, the starter, who's been suspended. 3rd down and 5. High snap. Frazier handles it and fires it complete. Quan Bray. And now he is involved as a wide receiver for a first down.
Well, that's the difference between 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 5. A crossing route, he throws it off his back foot, and he's able to get the completion for a first down. Big difference throwing 3rd and 10, 3rd and 5.
And now they've moved in to Clemson territory at the 49-yard line. They'll go back to McCaleb and Prosh, the fullback. Stopped in his tracks. McCaleb's going to lose yardage. Jonathan Willard having a good first half.
Jonathan Willard out of Loris, South Carolina, was a 4-time state champion wrestler. So you know he's a tough guy in there playing linebacker.
Loss of a couple will bring up 2nd down and 12. Auburn has all its timeouts remaining as we hit the 3.5-minute mark. Tigers scored on a long touchdown pass, and that's it so far. The Auburn Tigers, that is. Emory Blake in motion. Frazier fires deep. Lutzenkirchen down inside the 15-yard line. Finally, we see number 43 downfield in a seam route on a 39-yard pickup.
Well, nice read by Kyle Frazier. These safeties, they're all out of whack. Nobody guards the middle of the field, and Lutzenkirchen right down the middle.
Such a huge part of their offense last year. Their leader in touchdown receptions. Has 14 for his career. That one gets him a first down at the 13-yard line. And back to McCaleb on the ground. And again, he's popped for a loss this time. Xavier Brewer, one of the captains of the defense, in on the stop.
You know, again, we have a new defensive coordinator for Clemson in Brent Venables, a new defensive coordinator for Auburn in Brian Van Gorder. Both excellent coaches, but communication, you know, they're still working out the kinks, and this is the first ball game. And that was a big opening that makes you believe there was a mistake in that coverage to allow Lutzenkirchen to run right down the middle of your defense.
2 tight ends in there now, Lutzenkirchen and False. Frazier, play action. Pressure coming. Going to loft it to the corner. He's out of bounds. Trevon Reed was open, but he's out of bounds.
Trevon Reed was only paying attention to the football and lost track of where he was in the end zone. He was wide open, but he had no idea where his feet were. He looked completely at the football and never knew where his feet were when he came down with the catch. He could have got his feet in and made that catch easily because there was nobody around him.
Made his first start of his career last year in this Clemson matchup, and could have had what might have put Auburn in front had he kept his feet in bounds. 2:14 remaining in the half. ACC rivals square off on ESPN on Monday night. Tevin Washington and Georgia Tech taking on the Hokies of Virginia Tech on the road. 16th ranked Hokies aiming for another run at a Coastal Division title. You get those two together the last 7 years, whoever wins that one wins the Coastal. College football primetime presented by Russell Athletic, Monday 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, and also available on Watch ESPN. There's a pretty good quarterback from Auburn past.
Yes,
Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton in the house tonight. This season doesn't start till next weekend. 11th play of the Auburn drive. Frazier is going to flare it out to McCaleb, and he's hit immediately. Breland from the secondary, and a loss of 5.
Yeah, really a quick reaction by Breland. They read that play right away. I mean, Kyle Frazier was going there automatically. Very safe throw on 3rd down, and now it brings up 4th down. And it would appear that Auburn is going to go for it.
They're going to go on 4th down and 17. Or they're going to let the clock run down as far as possible and bring out their field goal unit.
Yeah. I say that doesn't sound like Gene.
No, it doesn't sound like Gene at all, does it? Not when you got an excellent kicker in Cody Parkey. So they'll let this thing bleed the clock a little bit, and there's the timeout with 1 second left.
Timeout.
Clemson's still going to have a full complement of timeouts and have probably 1 minute and 20 seconds or so to work with. We'll take the timeout, and then we'll watch Cody Parkey's try at a field goal. Unit comes on for Auburn to try to make it a 3-point game here with 1:28 remaining in the half. Cody Parkey last year 13 of 18. This will be a 37-yard field goal attempt. Ryan White to hold. And Parkey, the junior out of Jupiter, Florida, knocks it through to make it a 3-point game.
I think that strategy by Gene Chizik with the clock shows you the respect they have for this Clemson offense, not wanting to give them any time. You know, this offense last year gained 624 yards against the Auburn defense. Tonight, Andre Ellington is off to a great start, showing strength in between the tackles, but more than anything, terrific balance. The 2 big runs he's had when everybody thought he was down except him, and the balance with the hand on the ground has been outstanding.
He's going to have a sore left wrist after planting it so many times. Here's what he's done in his rushing chart: 18 on the left, 33 at the middle, 72.
How about the yard per carry? That's not bad.
I like that. 10 a pop is good. You'll take that anytime. That scoring drive, by the way, by Auburn to get the field goal. 12 plays, 55 yards in 6 minutes and 2 seconds. The biggest chunk of that was Kyle Frazier to Philip Luxenkirchen, the 39-yarder that got him down to the 13-yard line.
And just one more word on Ellington. Last year, when he carried the ball 15 times or more, they were 8-0.
Right.
In the games that he did not, they were 2-4. One of those games he missed with an injury against Georgia Tech. Didn't play at all.
People around Clemson will whisper the name C.J. Spiller sometimes when they talk about Ellington. If you're in C.J. Spiller's category, you're in a category that doesn't have a lot of people in it. That means you're pretty good. Parkey knocks it out of the back of the end zone. Minute 24 and a full complement of timeouts for the Clemson Tigers.
Clemson Tigers. Bring it 110%.
By Taj Boyd out to DeAndre Hopkins. Only got about 2 yards out of it as Bates knocks him out of bounds. But they went to Hopkins early and often, and that's first one he's caught since he caught about 4 quickly in the first quarter. You know, Bates was shaken up earlier, and it looked like maybe his shoulder popped out on him or something earlier in this quarter, and now he's down again. And you mentioned he's not the biggest cat in the world, Todd. Only about 215 pounds, 5'11". We got 1:18 remaining till halftime. While we got a second here, let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, just a few minutes away on the Buick halftime report. The debut for Bill O'Brien at Penn State comes up a loser against Ohio. Great win for the Bobcats. USC is underway. Matt Barkley's already thrown a couple of touchdown passes. You see Silas Redd running right there. They are off to a great start against Hawaii. And Urban Meyer's debut at Ohio State started slow, finished very fast. Mark and Lou will also give you their takeaways from the day so far. It's coming up.
All right, Reese, we'll see you guys in a minute and a half. Leading tackler last year for Auburn. And as we mentioned, he went out earlier in this quarter, and he's still, if it's a stinger, I'm not quite sure. He was about the second man in, I think, on this tackle on Hopkins, because first it was T. Bell, and then Bates came in. And as soon as he did, the left arm sort of started to dangle on him a little bit. So that might be it for him for at least the remainder of this half. Taj Boyd to throw, wide open. This guy's nifty, Adam Humphries, and Humphries has got a first down.
And we mentioned Clemson has other weapons besides Sammy Watkins. He was their most dynamic player. But between Sharon Peak and Martavis Bryant and Adam Humphries may even be one of the fastest, if not the fastest on the team.
At the 41, quick throw again. This one out to Hopkins one more time, and again T. Bell knocked him out of bounds. Darren Bates came in, by the way, after just one play out. So whatever the problem is with his arm, he's toughing it out. We're under a minute now. Again, Clemson has all its timeouts. And a second down and 7. Again, the pistol set with Ellington behind Taj Boyd. And 4 receivers will be out in the pattern for him. And Auburn, D4 jumps into the neutral zone. And let's see who this one's going to go against.
Offside. Number 95 defense, unabated. The defensive backfield, 5 yards, still second down.
Chiswick will write that one down on his card. D4's had a pretty good first half, though. Both he and Corey Lemonier, those 2 defensive ends, have played well.
Very important for this Auburn defense to play to the end of the half. 59 seconds left. Right now for Clemson, Taj Boyd, he's thinking points. He's got just under a minute, all 3 of his timeouts. You'd obviously love to get a touchdown, but you want to get out of here with at least 3 so you don't take a sack and you take what the defense gives you.
Flags are down again. Taj Boyd pump fakes, sideline throws, complete to Hopkins, and Nuke is off to the races down to the 21-yard line. But again, flag at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 men were moving. We did not reset. 5 yards previous spot. Still second down.
Negates a 30-yard pickup. And we're down to 51 seconds. And you know, you think about, we have had a lot of big plays in this game. Sammy Watkins isn't here. Again, if you're just joining us, we'll miss the first 2 games of the season. And you know, at some point, we would have seen number 2 streaking down for a long ball or 2.
Well, all he did against Auburn last year was catch 10 balls for 155 yards and a pair of touchdowns. I mean, that was his coming out party.
Timeout. Clemson. First charge. Timeout.
And the first charge timeout.
It'll be 30
Clemson
seconds.
will take it's the 30-second timeout. But the guy we're missing tonight, and everybody in college football watched him light up the ACC a year ago. What does it mean not having him? Well, as Todd said, 1,219 yards receiving, 13 touchdowns, 838 as a return man as well. He was so dangerous. Every time he touched the ball, you kind of held your breath, and we had him against Florida State, and he was all over the place in that one.
Well, and the other thing that he gave you is he gave you another running threat. I mean, they would give him the ball on sweeps out of the backfield. That takes pressure off Ellington, doesn't force the quarterback to run as much. So they're missing a lot with Sammy Watkins. But as Holly mentioned earlier in the ballgame, you know, Dabo Swinney is very pleased with how Sammy Watkins has responded to the suspension, the leadership he's shown on the team. And when he comes back, he will be raring to go after 2 games.
They'll be even more dynamic offensively. Here's a wideout screen to Hopkins again. Short gain, though. Ryan White knocked him out of bounds after a pickup of 3. And Clemson again quickly up to the line. 39 seconds left, and again 2 timeouts. Let's see if they try to get one downfield. They've been throwing a lot of short stuff and hoping the yards after catch will help them. That one's a little bit farther downfield. It's a first down throw. The 41-yard line, a pickup of 12.
Still have 2 timeouts, but the clock stops as they are moving the chains. Again, Taj Boyd, a veteran in this offense now, going to save the timeouts, kill the clock with the spike. Threw for over 3,800 yards last year, 33 touchdowns. First 8 games, he was as good as any quarterback in America. The last 6 games, he had a little bit of a couple rough spots in there.
First 8 games, he started off, they were 8-0. He had 24 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. The rest of the way, they started losing some ball games, and he threw 9 picks along with 9 touchdowns.
He looks poised tonight. He looks in control and command of this offense.
Pump fakes. Now he's in trouble. And Corey Lemonier's got him from behind. And that's a big loss back to the 46.
Well, they tried to go for a home run kind of play, and Taj Boyd's got to kind of know.
Clemson.
He's got to kind of know that that clock's run out.
4th sack of the night of Taj Boyd. And the clock's running out about right there. Corey Lemonier doesn't give you a lot of clock.
Lemonier got the sack, but Gabe Wright, number 90, was the guy who first flushed him out. The pressure inside from Gabe Wright is what disrupted the timing in the play. And as Taj Boyd got away from him, Lemonier chased him down from behind.
Celebrating its 8th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, All-State makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, All-State's contributed more than $2.6 million in scholarship monies. Clemson would just love to have a chance to try to hit that net. They might have taken themselves out of field goal range with that last sack. Taj Boyd on the run. Lemonier chasing. Taj is going to keep it, get what he can, and get out of bounds at the 37-yard line with 14 seconds remaining. Now they got time for maybe 2 more. Well, it's 4th down. They don't have time for another play. And that'll be it for the offense. They're going to try. I think they're changing their mind on the fly here, whether it's going to be a field goal.
Well, they need somebody to kick the ball.
Yeah, either a punter or a kicker. Bring somebody
or a kicker out there right now.
Both were standing near the 50-yard line, and neither knows who's supposed to be out there. So another timeout, the final one taken by Clemson. Boy, those sacks were big.
Yeah.
And the penalties have been big.
Well, and that last sack, again, that's one Taj Boyd. That's kind of on him a little bit. He's got to throw that ball away because that's the one thing you can't do in that situation. You want to get in field goal range to at least take a shot to put points on the board before halftime, and that sack took him right out of that opportunity.
Taj without a touchdown pass, and there weren't many games last year where you said that. And of course, he's still got a half to go. He's back there behind the group, getting a little breather as we're 14 seconds away from halftime. And there's Chad Morris saying, we'll get him in the second half. Don't worry about it. He has such a huge personality.
Yeah.
Taj Boyd, just fun to be around at practice. And
one of 6 ACC quarterbacks returning this year that threw for over 3,000 yards last year. I mean, it's a conference that is pretty well loaded at the quarterback position.
Spencer Benton is their kickoff man and their long-range kicker. He's going to try one from 55 yards. Snap a little high. Kick is going to go left. And no good.
Worth the try, though.
Yep.
Yep, worth the try.
Clemson 8 seconds away from having a halftime lead. The ACC has been waiting for a signature win over the SEC. They hoped they would get one last night with North Carolina State, kind of highly thought of as maybe a sleeper in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And Tennessee looked sharp last night. You and I, Holly actually worked the game. You and I came to the game, and some big plays in that one for the Volunteers, who we'll see against Florida in a couple of weeks in Knoxville. Kyle Frazier, probably the last snap of the half. He's going to load it and get nailed from behind, but he did get the pass away. And that should do it for the half. Corey Crawford let him have it from behind as he let go of the football. So the Clemson Tigers, defending ACC champions, leading but by only 3. And Dabo Swinney's with Holly.
Well, Coach, how do you describe the impact that Andre Ellington has had on your team in this first half? 123 yards rushing before that last drive.
Well, he's relentless. You know, that's what relentless looks like. And really proud of the half he had. But, you know, it's an opening game. You got some mistakes. We're winning the turnover margin, which is a positive. But we've had some drops and some big penalties that have cost us some opportunities. But, hey, got the lead at the half, and we got a whole other half to play. And right now they're playing hard.
How do you address the penalties? I know you can't stop them mid-game, but what do you say to your team?
Well, right now, you know, they're their worst opponent. You know, to win, you don't beat yourself. And we've had, you know, 4th and 1 on the goal line, all sides. We've had 12 men. You know, just some things that we can handle and control. So control what you control and just keep playing hard. But I like where we are right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Sure.
Well, we know one thing. 2 quarters from now, the Tigers will win. We just don't know if it'll be the Clemson Tigers or the Auburn Tigers. Clemson up by 3 at the break as we go to Reese, Mark, and Lou in the studio for the Buick Halftime Report, guys.
This halftime report is presented by Buick. Experience your kind of convenience, peace of mind, entertainment, and luxury.
Takeaways from the first part. Taj Boyd's done a pretty good job running Clemson. Clemson Tigers up by 3. Heisman, are you serious?
This halftime report is presented by Buick. Experience your kind of convenience, peace of mind, entertainment, and luxury.
Can of whooping opened early. Clemson and Auburn much closer. A great run by Ellington here, reminiscent of Michael Dyer's run in the national championship game for Auburn. Second half coming.
Frazier sets up, and he's going to air it long, and he's got a man wide open. Touchdown! A little bit of an opening for Andre Ellington, and again, he keeps his footing by putting his hand on the ground, and now it's his wheels on the ground. Ellington at the 30, down the sideline. What a run! Clemson, they keep it on the ground. Touchdown! Welcome back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. Halftime score: defending ACC champion Clemson Tigers leading the Auburn Tigers of the SEC 13-10 is our halftime score. Clemson coming in ranked 14th in the country. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome, everybody. Brad Nessler with Ty Blackledge. I think Dabo said it all to Holly going to the locker room, Ledge. If they wouldn't have made so many mistakes, Clemson, they'd be out in front a little bit farther than they are now.
Yeah, it seems like they've had control of the football game. Great balance offensively. The running of Ellington, the passing of Taj Boyd. He's not forcing things. And for Auburn, you take out the long touchdown throw. They only had 138 yards of offense. I think for Auburn to have a chance to win this game, they've got to throw the ball more for some big plays in the second half.
Tigers of Auburn will have it first, but they're going to have to take it at the 25-yard line again, as we've got a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 25, and we'll take it down to Holly.
Well, I was able to catch up with Auburn's Gene Chizik at halftime. I asked him, how do you get Andre Ellington to the ground? He said it's been frustrating because they've been in position to make the plays, but they just haven't wrapped him up and brought him down. He also said they've got to improve their pursuit angles. It's a new defense, a new coordinator, and they're just trying to fine-tune here in the second half. And offensively, he likes where they're at. He said, keep doing what we're doing. We're going to continue to run the football and continue some long pass plays, but they've got to cut down on the turnovers. He feels like that's been a bugaboo.
It sure has, as they come out with their fullback, Prosh, who's been a star tonight, even though he's not going to have any statistics. He's going to have some bruises on some people, and that's where they run behind. And Mason into the secondary, and a pickup of 15 on the first snap of the third quarter.
Yeah, great start. Ran right behind their veteran, number 71, John Sullen, their left guard. He's the guy that sets the table. The fullback, Prost. I formation power football. Again, remember, Scott Loeffler was at Temple last year. Temple ran the football for 256 yards per game, which was 7th in the nation, and they did it in I formation and also the quarterback in the shotgun and some of the spread runs.
Here's the I again. Here's the pitch. McCaleb on a corner. Ontario McCaleb almost broke it. Out the back end he goes for 12 more. So immediately the Auburn Tigers on the Clemson side of the 50. Mason will come back in. Of course, Auburn a year ago would have had Michael Dyer out there for about 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. Left Auburn, went to Arkansas State, and now at Arkansas Baptist. He's the MVP of the national championship game. And no gain for Trey Mason on that play. But, you know, here's a guy that we really haven't talked about. When you look at the numbers, 1,000 yards in both seasons.
Yeah.
Including 15 touchdowns. So it's a different look. He was a power guy that did have speed, and in Ontario McCaleb, as you said, he can run between the tackles, but he maybe weighs 170.
Well, he's not going to be able to do that 20 or 25 times a game, which is what Michael Dyer could do.
Right. Penalty markers down.
They had 12 in the huddle, I think.
Offense had 12 men in the huddle. 5 yards. Still second down.
Each team has had one of those tonight, and that sometimes happened, especially in week 1. It was amazing when talking with Gene Chizik and Dabo Swinney. I mean, almost the exact same quotes, and I know it comes out of a lot of coaches' mouths the first week of the season, but they both said, you know, we don't know until Saturday night. You can practice, spring practice all you want and have your, you know, A-day game or your Clemson day game, whatever, in the springtime, and then you go through August and you're still wondering. It's like that. You kind of hold your hands up and go, what are we going to have tonight?
First charge, timeout.
So Auburn's going to have to be taking a timeout here as well. And that could really hurt them down the line somewhere. Welcome back to the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, presented by Hampton Hotels, all part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week. Chick-fil-A proud to donate $50,000 to the scholarship funds of Auburn and Clemson. Steve Robinson there, Chief Marketing Officer in the middle of Chick-fil-A, presenting the checks to President Jim Barker of Clemson and Auburn University President Dr. Jay Gouge. Chick-fil-A, a long history, of course, of promoting education, as they've awarded nearly $30 million in scholarships over the years. And we've been here for Chick-fil-A kickoff, in this case weekends, Tennessee and North Carolina State last night. You probably watched it on ESPNU. We're also here a lot, Todd and I, Holly, for the Chick-fil-A bowl game. January 31st was sensational. It's always good to be here with Steve Robinson, Gary Stoker, and all the gang. Ontario McCaleb, nice run. Got it inside the 45-yard line. These games, they really get the attention of these kids, Todd, you know, because they go through spring and then the summer months when it's hot out there and they're getting sick of hitting each other, and they go, man, it's Auburn against Clemson. This is pretty good. Well,
it's a great matchup, you know, and it's a real true evaluator. When you play a quality opponent, you learn a lot about your football team in week 1.
Auburn finding out about their sophomore quarterback tonight. He's played pretty well. He's got a third down here, though, 3rd and 7. Travante Stallworth in motion. Quick drop over the middle. Hudson Kirk, the intended receiver, would have had a first down. That ball might have been tipped, but overthrown. Hudson Kirkin was open over the middle.
Well, Stephon Anthony, number 12, the linebacker, has shown a little pressure, and I think he got a piece of it.
Yep,
he got hung up. He wasn't able to get to the quarterback, but he got his hand on the football and prevented that first down completion.
So Auburn's going to have to punt. Stephen Clark on the Ray Guy watch list again this year after being a finalist a year ago as a punter. Hits it a mile in the air, not that deep, but pins DeAndre Hopkins right at the 15-yard line with the fair catch. Well, a big weekend in Atlanta, not just for football. Braves are playing the Phillies, and with just 2 races left until the chase, Greg Biffle and Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. are locked in. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in Atlanta Sunday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt, he had a good chance. He's in third right now. He had a good chance 8 years ago, and he had a wreck late in the race that took him out of that, and he said, I don't want to blow another opportunity. So I'm sure a lot of people will be cheering for him tomorrow. Clemson fans cheering for Taj Boyd, who runs for 8 up the middle.
I thought it was interesting when we talked to Chad Morris over at Clemson on Wednesday. He said, you know, Taj ran the ball okay last year, a couple hundred yards. We've challenged him to run for 700 yards this year. If you run for 700 yards, our offense will take a step to another level.
I know this guy will get to 700 yards, barring injury. Ellington knocked out of bounds by Whitehead. Ellington, in fact, he's over 100 tonight, well over 100 in the first half. He needs 1,644 yards if he had that kind of sensational year to become the all-time Clemson rusher. Raymond Priester, who had almost 4,000 in his career. Andre's certainly off to that kind of start. If he keeps piling up yards, he might get in that ballpark. Third down at 2. Boyd snaps off a throw, incomplete. Intended for Jerron Brown. Chris Davis was covering.
I think Taj Boyd may have rushed this throw just a hair. Auburn has gotten decent pressure tonight, and that time I think he maybe threw it before he had to and wasn't able to make the accurate throw on the out route.
First 3 and out suffered by Clemson, and it'll force Spencer Benton to punt it away. Quan Bray waits down on the other end for Auburn. They should get pretty good field position out of this, unless Spencer really gets into one. Bray right where he had planted himself and breaks a tackle. And gets about 4 yards out of the return. But still, good field position for the Auburn Tigers. They'll work offensively from their own 40-yard line when we come back. 6:30 tomorrow night on ESPN from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here, college football primetime, our Chick-fil-A kickoff classic. Part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week. Last night, Tennessee over North Carolina State. Right now, Clemson of the ACC leading Auburn of the SEC by 3.
Still think passing on early down. Emory Blake, get him back involved in the game.
And now the keeper by Frazier. He has not run a lot tonight. Got a yard. Grady Jarrett made the stop.
When we talked to Scott Loeffler and we asked, you know, would we see quarterback run? Because that was his role last year. He ran for over 300 yards. He was the 3rd leading rusher on the team. And Scott said, if we are way ahead, you won't see him run at all.
Right.
If we're behind or we need him to make some plays to win the football game, then you'll see him run the football.
He was a high school senior, ran for over 1,100 yards and 22 touchdowns in his senior season. Here he is. The play action Todd was calling for. Pressure coming. Pass is high. Lutzenkirchen was open back there again.
Yeah, that's one he wishes he had back, because Emory Blake drew the coverage. He was running deep down the middle, and he drew the coverage and really opened things up for Lutzenkirchen on the deep crossing route. And it was an errant throw by Kyle Frazier.
Now brings up the 3rd down and 9 again. Auburn last year struggled on 3rd down, 36%.
Only 2 of 7 tonight.
New year, same struggle. 3rd and 9. Emory Blake hasn't been involved in a while. Frazier throws, completes. Emory Blake at the 40 to the 35-yard line. First down.
Good poise by Kyle Frazier. You know, he left the pocket, a guy who is maybe more comfortable running than he is throwing at this point in his career. Does what you hope a quarterback would do. If you scramble to throw. Keep your eyes downfield and find an open receiver for the first down.
Emory Blake, a 24-yard pickup. He has a 54-yard touchdown catch tonight. Two catches for 78 and that score I mentioned. Now it's Trey Mason on the ground to the 32. Pickup of 3. Let's pick up Reese Davis. Reese.
Brett, check in on USC and Hawaii. Penn State transfer Silas Red joining the #1 ranked team in the country. And Red, from the 21, has his first touchdown as a Trojan, a 1,000-yard rusher for the Nittany Lions last year. Trojans up 26-0 late in the first half.
All right, Reese here, 13-10 Clemson. Auburn driving, though, trailing by a field goal and a second down and 7 at the 32-yard line. Here's a pitch. McCaleb on a corner. Inside the 30. Looks like he's going to pick up the first down. They're very close. Nope, they're going to charge. They're going to say he stepped out 2 yards shy. Thought he got to that stick, but he didn't.
That was a tall order for Corey Crawford, the defensive end. 6'5", 270 pounds, out there one-on-one against Ontario McCaleb, who may be one of the fastest running backs in the country. Did what he could to force him outside and prevent the first down, but couldn't get him to the ground.
Trey Mason, the tailback in the eye. He'll get the carry behind the fullback and nothing doing. Not even close. A loss of 1 at least. Deshaun Williams underneath makes a big play for Clemson.
Auburn tried to go hurry up. They tried to get to the line, snap it quick, and get the first down. And they were too high in their blocking angles. And the leverage, the lower defenders able to submarine that play. And as you said, not only stop it, but force him back a couple yards.
Tony Parkey's got 1 tonight. This will be a 46-yard attempt. Hit earlier from 37. Parkey to try to tie it. And Atlanta does. Perfect. 46 yards. Cody Parkey. 8:38 remaining third quarter. The Tigers of Clemson, the Tigers of Auburn, even at 13.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Packed house of Auburn and Clemson fans. The champs here. Former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. We already talked about this guy, pretty good football player. Cam Newton, can he do what he did last year with Carolina? And Chris Medlin and Tim Hudson made it over after the Braves lost again today to the Phillies 5-1. They lost in extra innings last night. A lot of sports going on. Atlanta Motor Speedway tomorrow night. On top of all the sports, Dragon Con's been going on in Atlanta. I saw Todd downtown with his Chewbacca costume on. There's a lot of things happening here. That's why I said the traffic's kind of bad. Whoops, little hesitation by Martavis Bryant, and he's going to have to pay the price. He hesitated in the end zone and decided to bring it out. And if he'd stayed in, they'd have 10 more yards to work with. As we take a look at how Andre Ellington is finding success tonight. Brought to you by Expedia. And he's been speedy enough when he puts his hand on the ground ledge and then gets going.
Yeah, I like what Dabo Swinney said to Holly about him. This is what relentless looks like. And he's telling the Auburn defense, look, I'm not going to go down to the ground on my own. If you want me there, you better take me there.
4th start inside the 20 for Clemson tonight. And here is Andre again. And another big game as he's got 13 more. He's got 148 on the night, which betters what he did a couple of years ago against Auburn.
Well, when he runs like this, it just makes this offense almost impossible to stop because you've got the balance with the Boyd passing and the Ellington running.
And there's the Boyd passing to Hopkins. Picked up about 8 more, maybe 9.
And so much of the Clemson passing game, the ball is out of Taj Boyd's hands quickly. I mean, it's not a lot of deep drops and long throws down the field as much as it is quick throws and see if receivers can make yards after the catch.
Quick play fake, and now he does go deep, and he's got a man, and it's his tight end again, Brandon Ford. Ford's all the way down to the 41-yard line to pick up a 22. And right now, Clemson's got it working.
That ball was a little bit underthrown on purpose by Taj Boyd because if he throws that with lead to the tight end, he runs him right into the safety.
Now back to the ground, and Ellington straight up the middle, and he bounces his way for 7 or 8 more.
All night, this Clemson offense has had balance. I mean, they've been able to run and throw and keep this Auburn defense with a new system, a new coordinator, kind of on their heels a little bit.
McDowell in there now. He has a touchdown run tonight. He's got a first down run with this one to the 30-yard line.
Last year, in the game that Clemson won in Death Valley, they ran 92 plays and gained 624 yards of total offense. They averaged almost 7 yards per play.
Again, going without a huddle and moving it down the field to the 30-yard line with a first down for Clemson. They have a second look over to the sideline there. The receivers look over as well. And now Ford has a word with Boyd. Still plenty of time. 9 seconds on the play clock. Now they're going to have to get set and get going. Here comes a blitz from Auburn. Taj Boyd runs away from it, fires on the run, and a little bit too high again for Brandon Ford. We were talking with Gene Chizik. He's talking about Taj Boyd. He said when he's on, they're cooking with grease. And up until that incompletion, they have been cooking with grease on this drive.
And just imagine this offense in a couple weeks with Sammy Watkins back.
Right. Sammy will miss the Ball State game. He'll be back for Furman. Those are the next 2 home games in Death Valley. Here's a little counter to Ellington, and he slips. I think he was helped to slip by Jake Holland, number 5. Boy, did he ever get helped to the ground by Jake Holland.
Well, remember, Jake Holland was one of those guys earlier that thought he had him on the ground, and he didn't. That time he made sure he planted him.
Biggest third down of the game probably for both teams right here. And it's a full blitz. Boyd breaks away, looking for a block, throws it sidearm, and completed it. And it's very, very close to the first down as the officials run out on the stripe just outside the 20. Ledge, this might be good enough for a first down.
Well, it might be, but even if it's not, it's a tremendous play by Boyd to avoid the sack. And even if he throws that away, they still have a shot at a field goal. They even have a better shot at a makeable field goal with the completion. I think it's short, but an excellent play by Taj Boyd to avoid the sack.
It's less than 2 feet shy of the first down, but they do bring out the field goal unit. Chandler Catanzaro. 37-yard attempts.
Timeout. Clemson.
And the Tigers are going to take a timeout.
Well, the play clock was down inside of 5. They had to, or they would have backed up 5 more yards for the field goal attempt.
5:36 remaining in the third quarter. ACC rivals squaring off on Monday night. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. That'll be a dandy. 8 o'clock. Hokies, the strong defense, always great at home. The team that wins this usually wins the last 7 years anyway. The Coastal Division crown of the ACC. College football primetime presented by Russell Athletic. Monday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. With Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe, I'm Brad Nessler with our ESPN crew at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. A little over 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter in a tie game. And Clemson getting ready with the leg of Chandler Catanzaro to try to break that tie again. He had a 38-yard field goal and was 5 for 5 in extra points last year in this matchup. And he's already got a couple tonight. Well, maybe the timeout was not just a clock issue. They had time to talk about it and think about it. They'll go on 4th down.
Look at this formation. They have not shown this.
Now they spread them out.
They may just try to get him to jump off sides.
3 tight ends in there. They will run it. Ellington's got the first down. So the timeout and the gutsy call pays off. Dabo Swinney says, okay, boys, let's keep it going. Pick up a 3. They'll move the sticks. They're back in the red zone now at the 18-yard line.
Well, I'm really impressed with Ellington. And again, this offensive line now, the run blocking, 3 new starters. Dalton Freeman, the center, is the veteran.
36 straight starts for their anchor man. And now it's McDowell trying to spin out of the way of that Tiger defense, and he can't. He'll lose a yard or 2. Angelo Blackson, the first guy, and then he got help from his friends. Taj Boyd's mom and dad, Carla and Tim, his brothers there to Dad's right. Dad's left, our right. A second down and 11. Ellington back in. Boyd, late blitz. Taj fired. Oh, right through DeAndre Hopkins' hands.
DeAndre Hopkins was 1 step ahead of the catch. He was thinking about spinning and going to the end zone, and he forgot one thing, and that was secure the catch. Good throw, and DeAndre Hopkins is thinking, I've got to score here, and he just didn't make the catch.
He's had 3 drops Big 3rd and 11. A blitz again. Boyd stands in, fires, and that one's dropped as well. And that probably should have been caught by Brandon Ford. So a couple pretty good looking passes that are incomplete.
Ford's on the inside. Remember, he was a wide receiver working against the safety, and that's another catchable pass. So second down and 3rd down, you can't throw it any better than Taj Boyd did. And they got to settle for the field goal attempt.
Right back to where they started. They were going to try a 37-yarder before they took that timeout. And now they'll try it again. Catanzaro for the lead, and he gives Clemson the advantage back by 3. Taj Boyd, his teammates over there say, just keep throwing it like you're throwing it, because we're not going to keep doing this. A couple of chances go away. Again, no touchdown. They have to settle for the field goal. They are in front. Taj Boyd on the Clemson sideline. Got to be a little bit frustrated they didn't get closer to a touchdown there, as he had a couple of drop passes. They settled for a field goal to cap a 66-yard drive in 13 plays. And 4 minutes it took him to get down there.
Well, and he's doing the right thing here. You know, he is a little frustrated. You see him with Chad Morris, but he went over to his offensive line. He went over to DeAndre Hopkins, and he's showing that leadership.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Because sometimes you make a bad throw and a guy bails you out with a great catch.
Exactly.
You know, those things come and go in the course of a game.
But they have been in the red zone 3 times and have only 1 touchdown and 2 field goals to show for it. Benton's kick. And again, McCaleb just going to let this one go. They'll bring it out to the 25 as we check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brad, on Longhorn Network, Texas taking on Wyoming, their season opener. David Ash really thinks slowing down for him. It's as if he freezes the Wyoming defense at times. Finds Jackson Shipley over the middle. Ash has hit 13 of 16, and Texas behind at that point has now built a 21-9 lead just before the half. And a couple of blowout scores. Florida State and Murray State. That would be a very good NCAA tournament basketball game. Oklahoma State, Savannah State, maybe not so much. 70-0 late in the 3rd.
Reese, don't you dare get in that basketball mode yet. 16-13 Clemson as Auburn takes over at its own 25-yard line. Play fake for Kyle Frazier. Flushed. Runs back up the middle. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Really well covered by the Clemson defense. Auburn has not thrown much on 1st down. They thought they'd fool them with the bootleg and get a crossing route. And it was good discipline in the back end of that Clemson defense.
Brent Venables looks different with a cap on instead of a visor, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. Different color scheme and everything.
13 years wearing a visor in Norman, Oklahoma. Now he's wearing a full cap in Clemson, South Carolina. 4-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. High backfield again behind Frazier. Again, play action. Loads, fires, completes. And it's Emory Blake. 14 more yards. And that's going to put him near 100 in receiving.
Nice throw. And again, I can't stress enough how impressive it is to watch Kyle Frazier, who never took a snap under center all through high school, to take a snap, play action fake, set up in the pocket, and step and fire a throw like that for a 1st down. I mean, that is not an easy thing for a guy to learn in a matter of a spring football season.
End around coming from McCaleb on that fly sweep. Terry McCaleb into Clemson territory and down to the 41-yard line. Oh, he's fast when he gets ahead of steam. 20-yard pickup.
Philip Lutzenkirchen going to lead the way on this reverse. Gets a nice block, kicking out on the corner, and that's all McCaleb needed. He cut right inside the block by Lutzenkirchen, and another 1st down for Auburn.
Both our number 23s, 1 for each side, having a big night. The 2 tailbacks. 82 yards for McCaleb now after a pickup of 20. Frazier back to the air. Long sideline pass. Trying to make an adjustment to Sammy Coates. Defender was slipping back there, but so was Coates. Incomplete.
Darius Robinson was in coverage, and he kind of got lucky there because he never knew where the football was. And by the time he turned around, it was too late. The ball was a little bit underthrown. And if Coach was able to come down with it, it would have been a touchdown for Auburn.
Second down and 10. Trevon Reed, I don't think he's caught a ball yet. He goes out to the left side. They'll go back to the ground to Trey Mason. Mason got a nice block. And quickly into the hole. Might be just a hair shy of the first down. Needed to get to the 31. Unless he gets a good spot. And he did get a good spot.
You mentioned the good block. The best block in the play was by number 4. Watch Quan Bray, the wide receiver, get a block right at the end. And that was all Mason needed to get to the first down.
Trey gets down to the 31-yard line, just inside the 31, with an Auburn first down. And 2.5 to play in the third quarter. Lutzenkirchen now in a slot on the left-hand side. Always have to keep your eye on number 43. Frazier loads, fires. Lutzenkirchen to the 11. Another Auburn first down.
Boy, just way too much of a cushion on Philip Lutzenkirchen. I mean, really a breakdown in the Clemson coverage, because there's no way as a slot receiver he should have had that much open area. He was really turned loose from the inside, and if he doesn't slip, he walks into the end zone.
The man with 19 letters in his name has a 20-yard pickup with a first down at the 11-yard line.
Almost as many career touchdown catches as letters in his name.
That's right. Frazier pump fakes one way. Now he's going to tuck it. Nice move at the 12 to get him to the 10. Some nifty footwork. Rashard Hall is there. This guy not only had fancy footwork, but great power and great speed, and still does now for the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton.
Well, and we've talked about some of the numbers of this Auburn offense last year. They struggled on third down. They struggled in the red zone, and a big part of that was because the year before, and when he was their third down offense. Right. He was their red zone offense, and he was their best passer, and he was their best runner.
Second down and 9. Frazier fires to the corner to Blake. Broken up by Xavier Brewer. Brings up third down and 9.
I like this throw by Frazier. Throw it up high, a little bit of an underthrow, and see if Blake can make a play. Again, a Clemson defender having a hard time finding the football and finding it late. That's a good shot to take.
He got just a little bit tangled up. Both those guys back there, and Blake couldn't come down with it. Third down and 9.
Movement.
Frazier fires it to the back of the end zone.
I thought they got away with it. I thought Greg Robinson, the left tackle, moved early and was going to back him up 5 more, but no flag and an incomplete pass anyway.
Now we'll bring out the field goal kicker to try to tie it again.
Well, we've seen both teams have some trouble once they get into the red zone. Move the ball well in between the 20s and then bog down a little bit.
Cody Parkey, perfect tonight so far. This will be a 27-yard attempt to try to even it at 16. Snaps clean. Kick is good. Cody Parkey from 27 yards out. And so the two teams of Tigers just keep swapping back and forth with field goals to keep it even at 16-16. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, last night during the North Carolina State-Tennessee game here at the Georgia Dome, there was a tragic incident when a Tennessee fan, 20-year-old Isaac Grubb, fell from the upper deck. He was celebrating Tennessee's second touchdown of that game. And I've spoken with the Georgia Dome officials today. There is an investigation underway. They have pointed out that there is a 26-inch safety railing minimum requirement. The railing there is 33 inches high. They'll continue to investigate, but no changes were made in safety measures tonight. But our thoughts and prayers are with his family, obviously.
Boy, happened literally kind of right behind where Todd and I were watching on the sideline. We didn't know anything about it until the game was over. And obviously, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. That's just a terrible tragedy, and that's the second one this week in sports. There's one at the Texans game the other night as well. Parkey, who just hit the field goal, 3 for 3 for Cody tonight. And now he'll kick off. Martavis Bryant and Jerron Brown are back deep for the Clemson Tigers. The last time Martavis Bryant fielded one about 3 yards deep in the end zone, he hesitated, and he who hesitates was lost back at the 15-yard line. Let's see what happens on this one. Quarter to go, plus 55 seconds. The tie game. This is Martavis. A yard deep. He makes a decision in a hurry on this one, but he still only got to the 15-yard line. Jonathan Jones on the special teams makes the stop as we check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, Alabama and Michigan, and the Tide is opening up a can of whooping on the Wolverines. Denard Robinson from his own end zone finds a wide open C.J. Mosley. Problem is Mosley's on scholarship at Alabama. Pick 6, but Denard Robinson just slipped one in from the 6. It's 31-6, extra point pending.
Alabama just pretty good again.
Yeah. Well, we knew their offense would be good. It was a matter of could they replace all the great players that went to the NFL off that defense? Apparently so.
Boyd, quick throw, snaps it off to Jerron Peak. And Peak draws a bunch of Auburn Tigers led by Darren Bates. Pickup of 6, though. Again, Sammy Watkins not playing tonight, so the wideout starters, DeAndre Hopkins, who's had a good night, but he's also dropped 3 passes. Jerron Brown, Jerron Peak, Martavis Bryant, those guys trying to pick up the slack from Sammy not being here. There's Hopkins, and this one he does catch, and he broke a tackle. Remember, he had one down in the red zone, where, as Todd said, he was thinking about how he was going to score, but he forgot to take the ball with him, and that time kind of the same pattern. This time he said, I think I'll take the football first, and then we'll think about everything else.
Well, Hopkins, again, last year kind of got lost a little bit because of Sammy Watkins and his dramatic season, but he caught 72 balls, and he's got excellent ball skills. A basketball player also.
Boyd, flush from the pocket. Got away. Broke a tackle and then took an ugly slide at the 41-yard line. Taj moving around maybe a little bit quicker than a year ago. He's a little bit slimmer.
He looks quicker. Yeah, he definitely looks quicker and making good decisions when he does run.
We'll make a decision in the 4th quarter on this game, I guess. We're tied at 16 at the end of 3. Some Tiger team's going to win this. We don't know who yet. Stick around. We'll find out together.
Dive, 52-yard touchdown run. There goes Watkins. He'll take it all the way. Clemson lead. Touchdown.
They made a decision to be great today, and I couldn't think of a better place to end the street in Death Valley, South Carolina, baby.
A very excitable Dabo Swinney after that win at Death Valley. It snapped a 17-game winning streak for the Auburn Tigers, who, of course, were the defending national champions dating back to the previous season. 2 of the last 3 have gone into overtime. Auburn won them both. Right now, we've got 15 minutes left, and we're dead even at 16. Taj Boyd fires. Whoa, that is intercepted. Picked off by Darren Bates. Off the hands of Sam Cooper, the tight end. He just took it away from him.
Well, the ball was thrown behind the tight end Cooper. Cooper was on an out route, and he was open for the first down. But watch the ball thrown back to the inside. And Cooper tried to reach back for it and wasn't able to snag it. It was not an accurate throw by Taj Boyd, and the result was an interception for Darren Bates.
And the football now for the Auburn Tigers at the Clemson 35-yard line. Golden opportunity time. Would they think about a quick strike coming off a turnover? Best starting field position they've had, that's for sure. Trey Mason. Nice little hurdle job that got him to the 26-yard line, close to a first down.
I think what Scott Loeffler and Gene Chizik feel about this game right now with their offense is, hey, we think our offensive line can wear down this Clemson defense. And we're going to go with a lot of 2 tight ends, and we're going to alternate Trey Mason and alternate Ontario McCaleb, and we're going to keep pounding the football.
2nd and short here. Again, Mason. First down and a lot more. Trey Mason cartwheels down to the 11-yard line. Jonathan Meeks saved a touchdown as Mason got 15.
Wow, really great blocking on the right side. Chad Slade, the right guard. Avery Young, the right tackle, just opened up a gaping hole. And then you see wide receivers blocking on the second level.
Quan Bray got a nice block.
Yep.
And now Mason is close to 100 yards rushing on 11 carries. First down, they mark it now at the 12. The stretch play to Mason again. Puts his head down and gets near the 8-yard line. Trey Mason, 5'10", 198-pound sophomore out of Lake Worth, Florida. He's had now a 100-yard game.
Well, I guess he's on his way to that goal that he told us about.
1,500.
Right?
Yeah. If he can get 14 more games like this, he's golden. Second down and 7. Again, 2 tight ends. Again, Mason. This time flags down and probably a holding call, which we haven't had many of tonight.
Yeah, I think they might have gotten the center. Tunde Farike again is in there as the starting center, his first start.
In for Reese Dismukes, who's suspended.
Holding, number 73 on the offense. 10 yards, still second down.
Greg Robinson's had kind of a yellow flag night, hasn't he? Again, just a redshirt freshman, though. It's the first time he's been starting.
Well, they are very excited about the offensive line future at Auburn. I mean, they have recruited that position extremely well the last 2 years. The problem is there's going to be some growing pains this year because you got a redshirt freshman at left tackle, you got a true freshman at right tackle backed up by a true freshman. So a lot of youth, but talent.
Second down, 17. Lutzenkirchen flips over into the slot on the right side, and Quan Bray runs that way as well. As Frazier wants to throw a screen back the other way. Almost picked up by Corey Crawford, and the big fellow would have been off to the races. Jonathan Willard tipped the ball.
I tell you, I've been impressed with Corey Crawford tonight. I mean, Malachi Goodman is the veteran, but Crawford has done a great job of staying at home and reading plays tonight and being disciplined on the backside. And that one was one where he was envisioning big things.
Ledge, they had a first down at the 12. Now they got a third down and 17 at the 19-yard line. You talk about big plays.
Well,
Clemson thinking about bringing the heat, and now,
well, it's a penalty on the quarterback. Unless they call timeout beforehand.
There is no foul on the play. Timeout, Auburn.
problem is that's their second one. We'll see what they do with a 3rd and 17 with 13 to play when we come back. The SEC on ESPN tonight from the Georgia Dome, where Auburn of the SEC tied with Clemson of the ACC 16-16 and a 3rd down and 17 right now for Auburn following that second timeout they were forced to use.
Here's where you have to be disciplined in rushing Kyle Frazier.
Frazier to the end zone and almost picked off in the back of the end zone. Sammy Coates was the intended receiver, so they took a shot. And now they'll bring out the field goal unit again, and that means Cody Parkey again, who's 3 for 3.
Pretty good job by the Clemson defense responding after the interception by Taj Boyd to make Auburn settle for a field goal attempt.
Parkey hasn't missed yet. This will be a 36-yard kick, matching his jersey number. They try to give Auburn the lead. Parkey has got another one right down the middle. Cody Parkey, 36-yard field goal, and now the Auburn Tigers have found their way to the front, 19-16.
The 2012 Chick-fil-A kickoff game is presented by Hampton Hotels. Feel the Hamptonality. And in part by Buick. Experience your kind of convenience, peace of mind, entertainment, and luxury.
Our third lead change of the night. Auburn leading Clemson now 19-16 with 12:50 remaining in the ball game. 4 field goals for Cody Parkey. That's a career high. And he is set to kick away. He drills this one. It'll go out of the back of the end zone. So Clemson will bring it out to the 25-yard line. It gives us a chance to take a look at tonight's good hands play, brought to you by Allstate. What led to that 4th field goal by Cody Parkey, you say? Well, a pass intended for the tight end that was behind him. And then Darren Bates showing pretty good hands from his linebacker position. His 3rd career interception as he scoops it up. And that led to the Auburn lead.
Well, right about now is where you need your leaders to take over if you're Clemson. That's Taj Boyd, shake off the interception. Andre Ellington, DeAndre Hopkins, those are the guys that need to make plays, running and catching and throwing in this drive.
In the pistol set, they'll give it off to Ellington. And he bounces out for 3 or 4. Jake Holland made first contact. Andre Ellington has had a sensational night. If you missed the game up to this point, he had 2 runs where it looked like for sure he was going down, and he planted his left hand, and he's got 153 on the ground right now. Now it's Taj Boyd, and Taj with his biggest run of the night. Boyd across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. That time faked it to Ellington, and everybody was looking at number 23, and they forgot about number 10.
Good read by Taj Boyd. The zone read, they run to the back, and he does the right thing by pulling the football and protecting the football at the end of the run.
27-yard pickup, and now at the 44-yard line, a throw to Hopkins, and he made the catch. Tough hit by T. Bell over there as Hopkins was airborne. Picks up 4 yards. And Hopkins, 11-yard.
Tell you what, if T. Bell jumps those routes like that, you got to look for an out and up or a hitch and go.
That's 11 catches for Nuke Hopkins. Todd, that's a career high. And he's dropped a few too, but he's brought 11 of those in.
Yeah, put the ball in the hands of your playmakers.
Boyd, play fake, avoids the rush momentarily at least. Now picks up 2 on the ground this time. It brings up a big 3rd down and about 4. Chad Morris just signed a new extension to his contract after his first year at Clemson, produced record numbers with their offense. Right now, he'd just like to get about 38 more yards and a touchdown out of his offense.
Clemson was 5 of 10 on 3rd downs in the first half. They're 0 for 3 so far in the second half.
Boyd gonna run for it, and Taj has got it inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Good decision again. Scrambles for 9 more.
Corey Lemonier got great pressure up the field. I actually thought he was offsides. I thought he got an early jump. But it was a good decision by Taj Boyd. And Taj Boyd is taking himself out of the game, I think. I think he was shook up a little bit on the 2nd down play. And then he got hit again at the end of this play.
You see him wincing. I think it might be his right thigh or something on that last hit at the end of the play. At any rate, puts a little pressure on Cole Stout, doesn't it? Ellington, 3 more. Again, Taj Boyd on the sideline.
You know, he got up after the 2nd down play when he had to run on the scramble, and he got up kind of a little bit gingerly, and then he ran it again on 3rd down, got the conversion, but he's been out for 2 plays in a row.
7th play of the drive, and the sophomore Cole Stout is in at quarterback. They give it off. Ellington on the sweep, and Ellington's got a first down, and that'll be a big one for Clemson there. Didn't look like he was going to have that much room.
Big time run.
Taj Boyd coming back out. Holly just told us during the last break, Taj Boyd lost his helmet twice. They couldn't seem to get it tight enough. This is his backup helmet, and you can barely see his eyebrows right now. This baby ain't coming off. At least that's what they hope. He's back in the lineup, though, and he goes straight ahead to Ellington, and again, tough run down to the 9. Wow. This kid has had some kind of night.
He has. And credit some that offensive line, too. 3 new starters in there surrounding Dalton Freeman, the old vet at center. but they're knocking some people back as well.
DJ Howard now gives Ellington a breather. He'll get the carry. Howard, first down, Moore. First and goal inside the 5. Impressive drive right now by Clemson, and they're doing it in a hurry.
Yep. Well, they're going no huddle, and they're lining up, and they're looking like they're playing fast. But you know what? They're playing sledgehammer football right now too.
Inside the 5-yard line where it's first and goal.
Timeout. Clemson.
Clemson's going to take a timeout, and that'll be their second. Each team with just one timeout remaining. Brian Van Gorder hoping his defense can slow down the Clemson offense as the Clemson Tigers are trying to get to the lead. Brian Van Gorder in his first year as Auburn's defensive coordinator. You think he's not trying to get that group fired up during that timeout? Now we'll see if it pays off. On the field, Clemson's got it first and goal inside the 5.
Both teams have struggled to score touchdowns when they've gotten in the red zone. This is the 7th red zone possession of the game. Only 1 touchdown. That was by Clemson earlier in the game.
Taj Boyd in the pistol is going to throw it for Hopkins. Wow. Did he make the catch?
Oh, man.
Touchdown. What a catch. On the fade, Nuke Hopkins
fought off the interference and still made the catch. Chris Davis was in coverage, interfered with Hopkins, and Hopkins still snagged the football.
Watch this catch.
Pass interference.
In the very corner.
That penalty will be
and hits the pylon with his career-high 12th catch. This one the most important for a touchdown.
They ran the ball 8 times and only threw it once. They called timeout and called the fade and got the touchdown that they needed.
Catanzaro in for the point after. And it's good. And now it's a 4-point game.
And how about the maturity of Taj Boyd? He throws the interception the last possession. It allows Auburn to kick a field goal to take the lead. He brings his team right back down the field and makes a beautiful throw to the back of the end zone to DeAndre Hopkins for the touchdown.
As good as you can do it right there. Hopkins, as Todd said, your leaders have to come up on a big drive. Did they ever? And now Dabo Swinney's team leads 23-19.
Yeah, it was Taj Boyd, it was Andre Ellington, and it was DeAndre Hopkins who touched the football.
The guys you talked about.
Right down the field.
12 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. Sammy Watkins is not here, but his teammates are picking up his absence. .9:17 now for Auburn to do something about it. Spencer Benton will kick away. Ontario McCaleb and Quan Bray are back deep.
A lot of time left in this football game for Auburn. No need to panic at all.
McCaleb, if he gets his hands on this one's going to go to Bray at the 1. Quan Bray still on his feet as he crossed the 20, but he only got out to the 21-yard line. And with a quick timeout here, let's go to Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brad, I want to show you what's going on. We told you earlier Zach Mettenberger had been knocked out of the game for a while. He's back, he's fine, and showing the big arm, putting it right on Kavon Boone for the touchdown. LSU's rolling. It's on ESPNU. It's 34-7 in the 4th quarter. Now, coming up as soon as we're done, Oregon taking on Arkansas State. Let's all get on the same page. Marcus Mariota making his first career start at quarterback. Mariota. Everybody with me now. Say it together.
Mariota. Marcus Mariota. Thanks, Reese. First down at the 21. Kyle Frazier. This place is getting noisier and noisier right now. Auburn's last 3 drives have ended in field goals, including a 65-yard march in 10 plays. At least the field goals are going through, but right now, field goal won't do them any good unless they get to them.
Yeah. Well, the guys that got to step up and make plays for Auburn now. Emory Blake, Philip Lutzenkirchen as receivers, and then Mason and McCaleb.
Right now, it's Mason who gets the carry. Broke 1 tackle, picked up about 3. Stephon Anthony, the middle linebacker, in on the stop. Clock becoming a factor. Remember, both teams each with just one timeout. 8:20 to play. And a 3rd down and 4. None bigger than right now, and Brent Venables knows it for his defense.
I would expect a little pressure from Venables' defense this time. See if they can speed up the decision by Kyle Frazier.
Auburn has missed on its last 4 3rd down conversions. This one they've got to have. Frazier flushed out of the pocket. Might try to get it with his own legs, and does. Nice run. Had to dive for it to pick it up.
Yeah, that's a good decision. Clemson did not blitz. They only rushed 3. They dropped 8. Kyle Frazier nowhere to go with the ball, and he did what he does well. Tuck that ball and run for the 1st down. Again, this was his role in the Auburn offense last year. He ran for 327 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's got to do it all this year as the starting quarterback.
He's only hit one of his last 6 passes, but what he did with his legs there was vital. And now they got an end around coming with Quan Bray, and that's going nowhere.
Why do you cut it inside, though? I mean, an end around, you got to take that thing outside. I mean, you run that to get a fast guy on the perimeter, not to bring it back inside the numbers.
And Rashad Breeland makes the tackle on Quan Bray.
He gets a block from Kyle Frazier. He's got to take that thing outside. He's too little to run inside.
2nd down, 11. Under 7 minutes. Auburn needs a touchdown to get the lead back. And Clemson's going to take its final timeout. They don't have any left, but they do have the lead. Clemson 23, Auburn 19. Don't go away. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues tomorrow night on baseball's biggest stage with a battle between 2 Cy Young candidates within the American League Central. Chris Sale, the White Sox face off against Justin Verlander and the Tigers. 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2 tomorrow night, presented by Taco Bell. Auburn with a 2nd down and 11, trailing by 4 with just under 7 minutes remaining in the ball game. And Clemson out of timeouts. They had too many people on defense in the huddle. It would have been a penalty had they not used that last time out. Kyle Frazier fires incomplete in the dirt. Stephon Anthony was the closest guy. That was defensively. It was Emory Blake that he was aiming the football at. And now it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Clemson kind of anticipated he would look for Blake. They had good coverage around the intended receiver. Kyle Frazier kind of got locked in on that target. Might have had Philip Lutzenkirchen in the flat for an easier completion.
Lutzenkirchen's going to flare out as a wide receiver actually on the top of your screen right now. 3rd down and 11 they have to have. Lutzenkirchen coming back toward the football. High snap. Frazier pressured over the middle. Lutzenkirchen can't get to the 1st down marker. Did get 5. And now tied with only 1 timeout remaining. They got to kick it away. And if Clemson can play that smash mouth game again, this thing might be in the Clemson Tigers' favor.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Chad Morris plays this possession too, because his normal style is to go hurry up, no huddle, and go up tempo. Will he try to slow things down a little bit to eat up clock without losing the aggressiveness of his offense?
Stephen Clark, all-SEC punter. Kicks, fair catch taken by DeAndre Hopkins at the 20-yard line. Hopkins, the guy that capped off the last drive by Clemson, but it was Taj Boyd who was doing what Taj Boyd did all of last year. First of all, good decisions to pick up what he can on the ground, then give it off to Mr. Dependable, who's got over 150 yards rushing on Andre Ellington, and then they get it down close at the 4-yard line and go to Nuke Hopkins, number 6, with a sensational catch for the touchdown and the lead. And that's where we are at 23-19. And if they can string together a few 1st downs, Auburn's going to have to cough up that last 1st down, and it might be the end of the night. But good job by the Auburn defense right there for just a short gain for Ellington.
Again, let's watch the pace of the Clemson offense. It's an offense that likes to go fast, likes to snap the ball a lot of times. But right now, they've got a 4-point lead, and the clock is on their side. So you want to slow down a little bit to eat clock, but you don't want your offense to get complacent.
They snapped that one with 20 seconds to go. And out to the tight end, who Darren Bates collars out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Brandon Ford with a catch. Big third down now here. And the Auburn folks know it. Trying to make some noise for their Tiger defense. Boyd, heavy pressure from behind. Ran away from it, and now got a big first down. Wow.
We talked about Chad Morris challenging Taj Boyd to be a better runner this year. And he has shown it tonight more so than any game we saw him last year. Making great decisions when to run. And other than the fumble he had early in the game when he didn't protect the ball, he has made critical yards when he's left the pocket and run the football.
53 yards on 17 carries, 200 in the air with a touchdown on that ricochet interception. But a huge first down there, and now back to Ellington. That's out to the 35-yard line.
Third down, you have to convert to keep the drive alive. This is not a designed run, it's a scramble, but he knows what he needs for the first down, and he gives up his body to get it.
And Ledge, it's a third time he's run for a first down on third down, and that's huge. And the clock is winding its way toward the 4-minute mark. Remember, Auburn just one timeout remaining. DJ Howard checks into the Clemson backfield now. Ford, the tight end, in motion. Blitz coming off the corner. Boyd's going to throw it out to Hopkins, and Hopkins tried to get to the first down marker and stay in bounds. He couldn't do either. But he did get his 13th catch of the night. 13 catches in one night. Wow.
Well, you ask the question, what's Clemson going to do to make up for the absence of Sammy Watkins? Well, you're going to ask Newton Hopkins to catch about twice as many as he usually catches.
Right. Again, it's third down. But this time only a yard to go. And they get it. And some by Ellington. He's out to the 46-yard line and move the sticks again, and the clock's going to work its way to 3.5 and under.
Chad Morris was quoted as saying when Andre Ellington made the decision to not go to the NFL and come back this year, it was the most important recruit that Clemson got last year, because they have been able to kind of build their running game now around this guy. They've got the weapons on the outside, and Taj Boyd, a veteran quarterback, but you've got to be able to run the football and have balance, and Andre Ellington is an outstanding back.
He said coming in, I'm healthy, I feel better than I ever have, and I'm ready to go. And boy, is he ready to go. Andre Ellington, and he might go again. All the way down inside the 10. 45 more yards.
Well, fatigue defense, some good blocking, and another missed tackle by the safety, Ryan Smith, number 24. Unblocked again, and Ellington just ran right by him. It's a fatigued-looking Auburn defense right now, and a fast Andre Ellington.
Fast to the tune of 229 yards. And again, he's got his team down to a first and goal at the 8. Straight up the middle goes DJ Howard to the 5. What a night for number 23. You know, by the way, for Nuke Hopkins, what a night too. That 13th catch I talked about, school record for a single game as a receiver. Clock working its way to 2 minutes. Auburn can only stop it once. Clemson now wisely letting that clock go down. There's the Clemson record for a single game. 13 catches for DeAndre Nuke Hopkins.
And you notice the yardage. It wasn't huge yardage, only 9 yards per catch, but critical catches at big points in this game.
And now it's Taj Boyd is just going to put it in his own hands and hold on to it. Flag is down, though.
Yeah, they had too many guys moving at the same time.
They've had a few of those tonight. And so far, Todd, they've run over 4 minutes off the clock on this drive, too. And this hopefully is just a cramp by one of the big fellas.
Well,
a little warm in here, even though it's supposed to be 72 degrees. When you get 73,000 people in here, it doesn't stay 72 degrees.
And I go back to that first third down conversion in this drive, the run by Taj Boyd that kept the initial drive going, kept the clock moving, and then a little bit of fatigue started to set in on that Auburn defense and a little frustration that they couldn't get off the field on that third down play. And now all of a sudden, Clemson knocking on the door to score again.
Two-man shifted, did not reset. That foul will be declined. Third down.
The guy that's down is Gift Timothy. Remember, he's the guy that had surgery not that long ago. And I don't know if that's the problem or not, but he's getting some help off the field.
Yeah, he had a meniscus tear in his left knee in August and missed 2 weeks. Shaq Anthony, who is a redshirt freshman, they weren't sure if he was going to have to start or if Timothy would make his way back. Anthony in there now. But
that's a quick comeback from meniscus tears. You and I both know that after our offseason.
Yeah, I'm having enough trouble just walking on the treadmill.
Exactly.
Playing football.
Me too. Third and goal. Again, Taj Boyd kind of by his lonesome. And he'll keep the ball himself, and he is close to the goal line. Short, though.
I love it. I just love that you take this and you put the ball in his hands at this point in the game.
And he's coming out because for the third time tonight he's lost his helmet.
Yeah, they're going to have to go to the backup helmet, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if they brought 3. The helmet he uses at practice at Clemson has cameras on it, so the coaches can see what he sees during practice.
Well, that kind of shoots my theory, too. I thought my theory on why the helmets were coming off was some of the long hair and some of the thing with that, but he doesn't have long hair, so I don't know what it is.
He's got that thing strapped down, too. As I said, you can't even see his eyebrows, and he's squinting with his right eye. So he comes out for a play, and it's fourth down. Auburn takes its last time out with 1:27 to go.
Well,
you know, if you take the chip shot field goal, it's a touchdown game. If you go for the touchdown, you're going to win. But you've got your backup quarterback in there.
Right.
And unless you just get Andre Ellington on the edge and hope that the blockers help the cause, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. So the helmet situation that we talked about coming into the season, that you have to sit out of play, has come into play more tonight than what we saw last night.
I think maybe if Taj Boyd wouldn't have lost his helmet, they might have gone for it here and say, hey, look, Auburn, you still have to score a touchdown, but you got to go 99 yards against our defense with no timeouts if you don't make it, or if we don't make it. But I think because of that, the loss of Boyd, you take the 3 points here and you force Auburn to score a touchdown to tie.
I think got to be careful here. This is shorter than an extra point, and the angle's a little bit different. Oh, and he just tucked it in the left upright. So Catanzaro extends the lead for Clemson to 7, but that still leaves the door open for Auburn. A touchdown and an extra point would tie it, and they have 1:24 to work, but no timeouts as we check in with Reese.
And Brad, just as soon as we finish in Atlanta, look at the latest outfit for the Oregon Ducks. DeAnthony Thomas was sensational as a freshman. We'll see him square off against former Auburn offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn in Arkansas State. Kickoff 12 minutes away.
All right, so 79-yard drive for Clemson. I don't know if you'd have to say it stalls at the 1-yard line, but if Taj Boyd doesn't lose his helmet, that might be a different call down there. Instead, an 18-yard field goal, and they lead 26-19.
Well, regardless of that, Auburn has to have a touchdown. They got 1:24 and no timeouts. So as you see Gene Chizik talking to Kyle Frazier, I mean, he's kind of making them aware of those situations. You got to play with a lot of urgency right now, and you got to keep that ball moving.
Now we'll see what Spencer Benton does here, if he just wants to blast one out of the back of the end zone and give it to Auburn at the 25-yard line, or if he's going to try to keep this in play and force them to field a ball down there. Remember, Auburn burned a timeout early in the second quarter. Well, I got my answer. Kicks it out of the back of the end zone. Don't forget, good ACC game, great ACC game, in fact, between these two teams from the Coastal. Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech is Monday night, presented by Russell Athletic. Tevin Washington Logan Thomas, big quarterback for Virginia Tech. Paul Johnson and Frank Beamer squaring off and exchanging wits there. It'll be a good football game on Monday night. Here's what they're playing for, the old leather helmets and the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. It has been a good one. Kyle Frazier, three-man rush, and it almost got to him. And he throws it out of bounds. Nice pressure that time with only three guys coming for Clemson.
Well, Vic Beasley, number 3, looked like he was shot out of a cannon. I mean, he made a beautiful move to the inside, got right into the face of Kyle Frazier and forced him to throw the football away.
Second down at 10. Now the Clemson crowd on the far side coming to life for their defense. Lutsen Kirkin sets up on the right-hand side. Quan Bray in motion toward the football. Again, a three-man rush. Frazier fires deep middle. Oh, what a catch by Emory Blake. Wow. 17-yard pickup, first down.
Clock will stop until they reset the chain, so Kyle Frazier has time to call the play at the line of scrimmage and be ready to snap it as soon as they're set.
They are set. He's back to throw again. In the pocket. This time stripped to the football. I think Auburn got back on it. Malachi Goodman swipes it out of the hands of Frazier, but they covered. It's the fullback, Prosh.
Frazier was carrying it a little bit loose, and that kind of a play or a sack is the worst thing that can happen to you when you have no timeouts. That clock is just eating up right now, inside of 40 seconds.
And a second down and 8. Frazier, now they do bring some extra heat from the backside. As he's going down, he throws it to the Clemson sideline. Clock stopped, 31 seconds. Mixing it up, Brent Venables. Sometimes a three-man rush. That time he decided to bring 5, and it got to Kyle Frazier a little bit.
I think you err a little bit on the side of caution here because Auburn has not been able to score when they've got in the red zone touchdowns anyway. You can let them complete some passes, keep everything in front, and make them march down the field in 30 seconds with no timeouts.
Third down and 8. Frazier waits and waited too long. Beasley with a sack. That might do it.
Beasley made the play on first down, and he turns around and makes the play on third down.
And that's fourth down and a mile, and the clock working its way down to 10 seconds. Might be the last play right here, unless Auburn can come up with a miracle. Frazier firing deep. Nobody home except the Clemson defense. Xavier Brewer takes the ball with him out of bounds, and Taj Boyd and the defending ACC champion Clemson Tigers survive the Auburn Tigers in Atlanta 26-19. Heck of a game.
Heck of a win for the Clemson Tigers. Heck of a win for the Atlantic Coast Conference as well.
Oh, you're not kidding. Holly's with a winning coach, Dabo Swinney.
Well, Coach, your quarterback had thrown an interception in this fourth quarter. As he came off the field, you talked to him, and then again before he took that game-winning drive down the field, you said something else. And what message did you give to him in those crucial moments?
Just be the quarterback. Stay within the system. Playing really, really well. Hey, you're the driver of the bus, man. Great energy. Let's stick with our plan and just lead us to victory. That's what great quarterbacks do. 10 was awesome today, but our offensive line and their physical presence and the way our defense finished was what won this football game.
You had a critical third down in that drive to take time off the clock and prevent Auburn from getting the ball. How do you describe how Taj kept that drive alive with his legs?
Again, that's one of the things we talked about with him last year, to take the next step. You got to make plays with your legs from time to time and not take sacks. And, what a great performance for him tonight. He had some mistakes. He had some first game mess-ups. But, man, what a champion performance by him at 23. And hats off to our defense. They had some critical stops, held them to some field goals. Hey, and a lot of credit to Auburn. Auburn is a good football team. This is a hard-fought game.
Sammy Watkins not with the team, but how do you describe DeAndre Hopkins' performance, a school record in receptions tonight?
Well, I didn't know that, but, listen, number 10, if there's one thing he is, he's smart. Oh, there he is. Hey, number 6 can play. And I've said it all the time. You know, everybody talks about Sammy. Nobody ever talks about Nuke Hopkins. But he's as good a player as I've ever coached, and I'm awful proud to see him perform like he did tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
A lot of respect there between the two teams of Tigers. And this Tiger tail goes to the Clemson Tigers. Taj Boyd, the driver of the bus. It's an orange and purple bus back to Clemson tonight. 26-19 the final. Don't forget, Arkansas State and Oregon's next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Todd and Holly, Brad Nessler, for our entire ESPN crew, saying so long from Atlanta.
This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.